Oh, what's going on? What's going on? Um, let's see who's in the box today. What's going on? Let's see what's going on. Okay. Yeah, this video is about elders versus the young. Young versus old, technically, but the titles explains it all. I was in a recent live stream. I think it was Friday. I think it was on the Roger Report. I think he had a stream. I don't know if he took it down or whatever. Um, I think he had a stream. It was a good stream. It was a good stream. Um, it's a good stream. This ain't no shot at Roger or anything. I mean, he had some. I think he had a good stream. I forget the name of the stream because he had one. It's something. He always have these topics that be out there, and I don't know if he put it on private or whatever. Was it making decisions for yourself? I I think that's it, but I don't know. But he had a video, and I think I took it down. He put it on private, probably. But yeah, it was a stream, and I think he had of course he had Angry Man, and I saw him on a panel because I was in the stream for like an hour or two. Um, what I've noticed is I've seen this occurring on his streams a lot. Uh, the reason I'm saying is shouts out to Silent Lamont. He's the one prompt me to make this live stream. I'm gonna do a part two. What's common? What's wrong with the age gap between the Manosphere? Because you got guys that are like, I would say 40s and they 50s trying to tell each other what to do, even though their leaderships is a little different. The elders and the young what to do. Like a lot of these dudes want internet daddies, man. I mean, I shake my head. I mean, that's why I'm gonna be on a panels like that, especially Robert's report. He's got a good content. Don't get me wrong. It's great content. He's got good quality content that you can subscribe to. But what I'm saying is I see this reoccurring with the young and the old. You have the young elders versus the older elders, right? I think Silent, he said he what, 41? He just turned 41 last year, and he's about to be 42 years year. And he said they do this all the time. And I think we was chatting in the chat, right? The reason I'm saying this, man, like that's normal. We know an individual that's popular in their sector, and of course the Grand Master teacher, you know what I'm talking about. He has seniority because he's in the fourth quarter of his life. So I ain't got no issues with him or anything. It's just what I've noticed, him and Angry Man, they around that 40 age range, right? And you got these 50-year-olds somewhere in the mix, like Uru and them guys, like the overtall people. He said something very valuable why dudes are like that. Well, Uru, he's one of them dudes that he lives in the past. He's an old Gen Xer, and that's the problem. And you have a lot of young and old Gen Xers that don't get along in this spaces. And it's mainly 2.0. Now, they did get along. I hate to say it, 1.0. I mean, there's two types of Gen Xers I can tell you from both sides. One is more productive, one's unproductive, but you have the actual ones that they're more easy to listen to, and the ones just want to talk shit and want to stir up shit. It's obvious in 2.0 because there's a lot of jealousy amongst the two. And that's my issue with them in general. Even my generation ain't shit too. We do the same shit just like them in the boomer mindset. And I mentioned that in recent streams. The problem is, shouts out to Silent again. That live stream that Roger had, I think it was, I believe it was Friday. Yeah, Friday. Yesterday. It was yesterday. He had something that's very interesting. Tell me in the chats when they get on panels, and I think him, Angry Man was on, and I think BJS was on, the whole crew, right? And Uru and all them. It's the same old stuff like it was last year, and I've seen this before a dozen times. But it's not a bad thing because you see the stark differences of differences of the age groups in here. I'm in my early 30s. I've been in this space since 07 with my first channel. This is like my second channel. So I've seen brothers come and go in different ages. But these dudes is like third and fourth quarters of their life. So they done seen the world what it is. These dudes won't last long in the future. I'll tell you that right now. They're the disgrace of their own generation. I hate to say that about them, but why would you have individuals say they're your leaders, but really they're not? You know, the only leaders that you should is yourself, not them. And Padot said something in the super chat was very profound. What I like what he said in that stream. It was a good stream. It was a good stream. I don't know why Roger took it down and he just threw it somewhere in private. You know how they do. I think Ramil does the same thing, but you know, I don't care for Patreon. Patreon is not that good. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. YouTube is like mainstream over here. So it's kind of like we're on the underground, right? But the Roger Report, I think he has this stuff all the time. I think it's him, Art of New Style. Every time you get a bunch of the older generations, they usually get divided over issues like this, and then the younger ones, and then the younger generations like that. All right, what's going on, Go P? And yeah, what I've seen in the space on panels, they get so hostile, and I think Silent got in it with the Grandmaster teacher himself. You all know who he is. They had the same feel like last year, so this is kind of feeling over at Rogers. I think Roger is not a bad person or a channel. I'm still going to support him regardless. I think Angry Man is at the top of the heat. I think this was the same thing when Angry Man came on the panel, and then he let someone else speak when he left. I think it was Rael. You know, he's so long-winded. So, you know. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, it's just it's one of those things. I'm with you, bro. Just you and I here, but would humbly say that's Full House. Yeah, it is. I mean, when you have a live stream like that with Roger, you get guys like Anger Man, the heavy hitters like BGS. You expect a little tension there. You know, I've been on panels with both of them. They're good dudes. My perspective with Anger Man, he's not bad for one. I've been on plenty of panels with him over at Kudas every third shift. He's not a bad guy, you know, from my perspective. What I've seen is he likes to be in charge. I know he's a big personality. The big thing is he has a solid content, even though people don't like him. And I know he gets a lot of flack for a lot of stuff. I know most people are not fans of Angry Man. You got some people that are, you know, it's like to me, he's up and down. I kind of stay neutral towards him. And same with BGS. I'm going to break him down. I've been on panels with him a few times. He's not a bad guy either. So my perspective of them two is like, I'm fairly neutral. So I'm mostly, you don't see me be on a lot of panels with them. Because normally I just be out here, right? And that's basically what I'm saying is you just have that type of authority to see who's out here. But mainly, I'm just trying to say this. When you have those two on the same panel, even though they had a little disagreement and they put their differences aside. And I was amazed Friday. You know, Friday was interesting. I was in the chat acting a fool, of course, you know, doing my little thing. And then I think Ty City was there. Everybody was there. It was like a full view. There's a lot of heavy hitters in the chat too, but Silent pointed to my attention. They said they do this all the time, which is a good thing. Why I made this video, I mean, not this video, but this stream about the situation Friday, and I'm going to go delve in more into it on part 2. Why is it very common? It's usually on Art of New Styles as well, because you see the age difference and stark trash, and it's kind of crazy, like they get so emotional on certain topics. It could be by anything, but That's just usually where it is. It's very telling. You know, individuals, they get upset with certain figures out here, you know, and I think Silent is one of them that he just don't answer to no one, but he disagreed with a lot of stuff these two say, but he has some good points, you know, and I mean, I know he has a smaller channel, but BGS has the big channel. So it's kind of like he's accessible on the internet. So it's not like he's KS or anything, but I'm just saying he's like the head honcho of the 2.0 sector and then Angry Man. So, you know, I'm more so admire his set. I speak that all the time. His content is a matter of how you take it. And yeah, exactly. And that's the same thing I said. That goes for both of them. Both of them, and I've been on panels with both of them. They're not bad from my perspective. I mean, Angerman has a good source. The reason I think I did that stream, what was that stream called? The content and trolling. I mentioned what he said about the situation between the other individuals, the side of who's threatening to kill each other. Now, I know people blame him for that mostly, but now the other side does it as well. So we need to stop doing that, man. If you're going to say you're going to do something, do it, but don't threaten people online. I don't co-sign that. I mean, don't play the Angry Man game, you know, because I know people like to play his game. I'm not throwing shots at him or anything, but if I was him and others, I wouldn't try to do that. But I heard him out during, I would say March 2nd when I met Kuda. And I had to hear his side because I've listened to both arguments of the two, but you know, they have tensions and they was all cool at one time. So that's what I'm saying. But at least I can tolerate Kuda in my generation. Like it's only a handful I can get along with minds. So when you see the older generation, it's the same thing. So what are we teaching the millennials? You know what I'm saying? This is why they resent the older generations, not us, because we're in between, but the older generations, they resent more because they know their grandparents and their parents could be boomers or Zers. I'm not Zers, I mean Xers. And that's it, you know, because you got to understand we're siblings to the millennials. So that's usually what they're looking up to. And Alpha's looking at it too. Their grandparents could be, I would say, X and millennials, Gen Ys. I mean, that's what you got, man. And you have a lot of division in both. I would say 1.0, you did a little bit, not as much, but 2.0, it's a lot. It's a lot of stark contrast difference. You got young guys as well. And it's gotten so saturated with that. So that time it went. Now 3.0 was a mess. I agree with Kuda. It was a lot of ego. I'm not going to just blame all four guys. I blame one individual broken up. He wanted to be the biggest man in the room. And that's sad, man, you know, and Angerman has gotten better with his stuff now. You know, he's got other things to worry about, you know, but I know he'd be on small channels and be on panels, but that's it. Yeah, he was. He was. And everybody's using this phrase, which is sad. You know, why would you play that game? You know what I mean? Everybody's doing that. And it's sad. That's why I stay away from individuals like that. You know, like that's not the way we're supposed to move forward. You know, what I saw from Roger yesterday, it's not a bad live stream. It was decent, I would say. It's just the tension was there with Silent had attentions to the other two. So basically, you're going to have these problems. But the problem is you're still going to have to deal with each other accordingly, you know. But I think when I was on panels with both of them, I think not on these panels Friday, but on different occasions, I would say BGS, it was probably on Rogers once. The first time I was on him, it was I think he had a video called Franchise Players versus 10-Day Contracts. When I was talking about complex design, he was talking about that Sapio stuff from the Black Brain Trust. He was probably put it on Roger, and the brothers wasn't feeling it. I'm gonna tell you that right now. When I was cool with the Brain Trust and we was talking, that was the first time I've ever been on Roger's live stream. That was last year, right? And I know he still got that video. I was on that panel once. But sometimes I don't be on his panels like that because certain individuals, they like to get their word in and whatever. It's a platform and Roger's cool. See, Roger's very cool with that. His platform is not bad. Now, Angerman and BGS, they got more weight because they tight like that. So I know brothers get upset when they have a lot of pull. They're the big names to Roger, you know, and I understand that a lot of people love those two, you know, and that's why I've learned to appreciate what Roger was saying. Like, this is his channel and he conducted a certain way. So, you know. Um, it's a stream that he had. I think he put it on private, but it had Angry Man. It was yesterday, and I think it was like his normal time. I would say Eastern time. On my time, it was like he comes on at 10. I know he comes on 9 Central, and your time probably later. Um, they was talking about the women in the spirit. It was talking about KS. It was talking about a lot of stuff. And AM and BGS kind of disagree on certain aspects, even though they respectfully agree on what Kevin's success is going to be. But he was talking about the men that follow him and don't get taken in by KS. They'll start red pill raging. That's Angry Man's argument. Now, BGS's argument, it doesn't matter because the environment has to change. The environment is what's going to take toll on these females and these women, because the women are going to have to adapt to it. Like, not just the technology and the jobs, BGS is still sticking to his argument. He predicted what that Kevin was going to do. He was the right voice for already mainstream online. So he's already mainstream. See, Angry Man can't be the voice. They wouldn't take him seriously because of the way he dressed. If he sounds intellectually smart, you know how they do us. But Kevin is tailor-made. I mentioned that yesterday in the open chat with Wacky World of O. He broke it down to me. They like that type of wearing the suits. And I was in Rogers yesterday, that Friday, man. I'll never forget. It was that was a good stream, but it went haywire. I was silent at the tip of it, and I think it ended. It was a long stream. I think he's gonna put it on his other platforms. I think you check it out. But the response to this title of the video, I've noticed that amongst them when they go over Rogers and Art of New Style and break it down, it's a lot of egos in the younger and the old, because one wants to be the elder. The elders that made it and paid the way. They've been in different communities and sectors before they came to the Manosphere. It's kind of like, who's the next up? You know what I mean? And because you get new young guys fresh in the space every day. They come and go. It depends on if they take on the red pill message or black pill message, whatever you want to call it, in the Manosphere, no matter which version you're in. See, the first version done completed a website. Second version deals with esoteric stuff and stuff online. They're basically all online based off live streams, via live streams, right? And broadcasting and podcasting, right? That's 2.0. They deal with the alternative media, underground, esoteric stuff. And, right. And that's what they deal with. But when you're dealing with the 3.0, they deal with technocracy. They deal with the technocratic, all the stuff they say, AI, the sapiosexualism they added. That's Black Brain Trust. They're supposed to lead the fourth industrial revolution. I might have to do some research on the actual fourth industrial revolution. I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow morning and try to bring some links and clips on that. And or I have to research it later after this stream. But you got guys that's supposed to be leaders of that. But then Stream Teams was based off of O'Shea, which Kuda and the other individuals, like people like Fantastic, GC, and Ty City, which I call Fantastic Mr. Fittinelli or Mr. Fitnall, because he believes George Floyd died with those drugs, which he didn't. He was already killed and executed before the drugs hit this system. Thanks. Shouts out to Just DeAndre for that. Just DeAndre broke it down. He was already have those disease and symptoms, but I don't believe he had fentanyl in the system. Some people believe that, but I don't believe that because it's not accurate. There's no evidence of that. People trying to make his case look like it was nothing. But the guy's doing time. The cop is doing time. So he ain't getting off, for one, because I don't hear no stories about it. Think about it, and this guy believes he died with fentanyl. That's why I gave him that nickname. Then they try to say he's fentanyl Floyd. No, the nickname belongs to this fool believing that. And that's been exposed by certain autopsies and stuff like that. But I ain't going to get into George Floyd. Rest in peace to him. But you got these dudes, these Negroes that believe in that canardism and that right-wing nonsense, that flat earth nonsense from Alex Jones, Miley Yiannopoulos, Gavin McGinnis type characters. The problem is with those dudes, they exist in this space. I mean, you do have center-right people. You have people that are progressive, slightly left, like Mike V. Shouts out to the Brothers Podcast. The Progressive Brothers Podcast, excuse me. Shouts out to them. Yeah, man, it's just one of those things, man. Like you you have to look at it who's on your side. Stream Team was supposed to be the standard of 3.0 along with Black Brain Trust together because they deal with tech and they deal with gear, microphones, and podcasting, right? The problem with that is you got too many people and too many egos. They want to be the man, but don't want to be the lead or whatever. So you're gonna have these problems. Okay, Brain Trust has Manosphere in their name. And the pushback from him, he gets criticism by guys like, I think, Judzilla and a few others. They say, you got to take that out of your name, G Dizzle, because nobody's not watching your content like that. I know they got 4,000 subscribers. Great for them. But what are you doing besides throwing information about tech? You got to show tech, too, because tech is kind of tricky. When you have tech channels that have, like Marquise Brownlee, for example, he has like 12 million subscribers, right? He's got subscribers that's been with him since the beginning, but a lot of those that have millions, they have bot subscribers. They have fanatics. They follow him. See, if he does a lot, he hardly ever does YouTube. He's doing other things outside of the internet. He's using the internet, but he's using other platforms. He's got different gears that a team that's moving around with the cameras and the lighting, right? That's Marquise Brownlee for you, right? But what you have is you don't have many people like him in the space like that. I mean, you have a handful. I mean, Kuda and a few others, but what are y'all presenting tech-wise? Now, I know people say Brain Trust is boring because they talk about the sapio stuff, the weed stuff, the AI and tech, and the technocracy as a whole, like geopolitics. Domestic politics is tricky because a lot of people delve in it way too much, especially American domestic politics. It's not even that real. It's like theater and wrestling. I hate to say that about them, but it's purely entertainment. So when you get guys like that, you've been stagnated with less content from them. So yeah, it's a struggle, man. Like a lot of people look at them a certain way. You know, I'm just saying what you got to look at. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. I understand that people want their content to be made and made out, but yeah, the young and old thing it's kind of an issue. But like the title said, elders versus the youth. Who wants to control the youth? And then you got certain youth guys amongst us is fighting for that spot as well. So it's competition in the manosphere. I mean, it's been like that forever. I mean, we do critique each other. I think Angerman said it best yesterday. He said, I get critiqued. We critique Kevin all the time. That's a peer, you know, like he always says, right? But the whole thing about it is like you need that critique. But that's the whole purpose of, you know, the manosphere. You critique yourself to be better and then try to get your message right. And not only that, in the real world, you try to be as best as you can, not just on panels and stuff, but how you deliver a message to help others. And sometimes you just have to find a way that's going to be right for you, you know, because I know people don't want to be approached like that. So it's a different ball game, you know. I have no issues with the Angry Man like that. I mean, he is a mere presence, just like BGS and all them guys. And when you see on Roger, you know, there's a big age difference, but you have other guys in their age, they fight against that. They're competing with each other. So the elders is like first in the youth, because youth has the talent and all that stuff. So it's common, and especially as amongst black men. The other races, they have this problem too, but not as us. I mean, it's very competitive, especially podcasting, broadcasting, and all that stuff. That stuff can be slightly overrated. If your message ain't right, nobody's not gonna listen to you. I don't care how many subscribers you have. If you have like over 1 million, I ain't talking about the small, I'm talking about millions and millions, and you got a bunch of bots not listening and they just want the entertainment and the effery, you still not delivering your message. So yeah, that's the same goes with Kwame Brown. I mean, he has to be careful because you got a lot of bots following you. and that's not good. You know, you're heading down that road, and it's okay to have a decent message for the message, but when you start getting to the gear land, you understand what's going on. But it's okay to sound better. It's nothing wrong with sounding better. I have to say to myself, once I reach, if I do 250 subs, I don't want any more. In my mind, the 250 would rock with me more than 1,000 or more GMO. Yes, yes. I had these subs since 2019. I didn't get them from clout chasing, putting people's titles names. I put structural titles that comes in a way. I used to do pre-records years ago before I even do this live stream stuff. When I start getting information and stuff and things like that, people find my channel based off searches, YouTube searches, and all that stuff. You know, I've been sitting on this 1,000 mark for like a whole last year and this year. I got my subscribers up because of y'all when I did more live streams. So I did a lot more. But the thing is, I've done way more than that. So I've been in competition with this since like 2019. So yeah, I started out with my first channel. I had less subscribers. Then I went up to, when it got flagged in 2012, then Barry Scott, I was into some political stuff and I trusted the guy and I cut him off that same year when I made this channel. When I made this channel, I started off less than that. And I see my old channel, I had 128. This one has started out in the 50s to 100s again. It rose up to 300 each year. It raised up when I was doing videos, and then when I did pre-recordings, I started doing content that was really relevant to what I'm doing now. So you know, and what you call it? Was the years I did? Okay, 2013. That was the year that I kind of blew up in decent small numbers of YouTube when I came with this channel. And I said, like the 2014, the last videos I did, it was called the, what you call it? The Punic Wars, part 1 and 2. That was the last 2 videos I did. I mean, I did a lot of pre-records. I did a lot of stuff, put titles in certain YouTubers I went at the time. And that's how I got my views and my subscribers, and people start subscribing to me and looking at my content. My content is decent. It was raw. I'm not really monetized. I'm just here for my own message and my own purpose of being in this sphere, you know, giving good information. But that's just me, you know, until I reached up to like 600, 700. When I took a long hiatus, my subscribers went up. When I took a long hiatus, my views went up. People was watching my pre-record stuff. They was watching my old stuff and it made sense to them and they like my content, and people will listen. They'll listen to your old live streams and take into account what you was doing then, and they still will. So yeah, I've been doing this for a while, and then 2019 hit. And this is when I wasn't making content then. I was doing decent amount of numbers. And once I finally hit 1,000, once I had 900, once I finally hit 1,000, it clicked to me that people rocked with my old stuff and they was viewing my old stuff. I didn't come back to making content until like 2021. So it was like a 5 to 6 year hiatus. So it was a good hiatus, you know, because I was in the workplace for 2 years and I build my content based off what I'm about. And I took it to the next level. But now this year's been good to me. I've been doing pre-records of January, probably each month, like February. But when March came and that split happened between in Zero's live stream with the individuals I was cool with, I started making content again like the next month. So March, I've been stopped being a panelist in April, and I started making myself live streams, and then I started doing the StreamYards, and then upgraded. And it's like, look, this is it. This is the future, you know, like if you want to do content wise. And I said, look, this is the process that we got to make. And it was a hard decision at first, because at first I didn't think I was going to ever host a panel. And I learned a lot from certain users, certain people I've subscribed to, how to handle chats, moderators. I mod my own self, trolls. I had a few trolls these past live streams, like from last month. and it's been great, man. I mean, this is a thing I'm gonna stick with it, and it's cool. And I didn't think I was gonna get to this level. You know, yeah, my subscribers grew after this when I was on panels with Kudo recently. So yeah, I'm just doing content and stick to my side and be uh have different topics every now and then. But I keep it in the range of my channel base. You know, I lost a few subscribers there and there, probably old subscribers that subscribe to me because of my pre-records, but that's okay. But I'm doing live streams and self live streams. I'm not doing a whole lot of nonsense. You know what I mean? Mine's kind of, I switch it up, you know, as I can. Pre-records is cool, but that's the thing. I don't think my channel in terms of competing with others, but I express what I desire to say and let it be. People either are going to rock with me or not. I'm not the control of that. Go exactly same here. I've been in on this plight for years. So yeah, what's good, man? What's going on, Juan G's? But yeah, my content is based off that, man. Like I've been consistent with it for like years. So it took me some years to get my 1,000 subscribers, and it was looking at my pre-records. Just walk away from this for like 5 to 6 years, and come back in 6 years, and you see the difference in your subscribers. But sometimes they came from panels. I think when I got more subscribers after I already had my 1,000 in 2019, I start being on panels, and people start liking my content. So 2020 was a self-reflecting year, just like 2019 was. Those years was fun. I learned a lot about the new format of the Manosphere. So the Manosphere was in good hands. So yeah, this is the style they did with the Google Hangouts. So basically, I'm just over here just doing my thing. So yeah, this is good content, and the relevance of what I've done, you know, and what I've done recently is how you conduct yourself on these panels. But one thing I can say on a live stream, I learned a lot about StreamYards. I learned about Zoom. Uh, this past year, I've been a panel participant for that year. I wasn't really doing content like this style of the live stream. So yeah, I've been consistent with it. I've been trying to pick better topics, better what's going on in the sphere, what's a good topic to cover or decipher, or what I can get my hands on and information and try to read up on stuff. I can do that. I can have panels like that and discuss that. I'm not afraid to discuss difficult topics. You know, I ain't gonna do it for cloud chasing or pandering like Ramil does and all these other guys. I don't do that. I'm very different. I'm more into the esoteric stuff, historical stuff, and I would say geopolitics in a little bit, but domestic, I will do a little bit of that. I try to be careful because we're in the age of censorship. So I'm treading my content lightly. So, you know what I mean? And then I talk about how to build your communities and stuff, just give an idea of what you do. And then you take it and use it in the real world. So basically my content has a nice variety. You know, I already did all the old pre-records I've done. It's not that much I can say. I'm mostly like a historian in a way, and sometimes I get my knowledge out there. So, you know, and I try to talk to a certain group of crowd. You know what I mean? I don't need a big ass crowd like what you have with VGS and Angry Man, because they do different things. I don't get into the Mandalorian and all that stuff. You know, it's cool and all, but that's one sector of it. You know, I mean, I can, but I choose not to because everybody will accuse you doing the same stuff. But, you know, you try to be different as you can. It ain't easy, but you try to think outside the box. But I stay in my own realm. That's what I've done in the Manosphere. I took my time and build this content based off consistency in what I've done. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's basically my content, and I've just learned how to be built and be structured. But that's the whole point. So I'm gonna step away for a minute and check on something. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Yeah, man. It's a good thing. I mean, when I did this content for years, I'm just looking at my channel, but it's basically like the young and old thing. It's been going on forever. Um, a lot of people just don't care about situations. Everybody's got different perspectives, which is cool, and I learn a lot, man. I'm not really tripping off this stuff, man. Like they take this stuff way too seriously. Because when you're on YouTube, I mean, anything can be touched and gravitated towards, but that's just the thing. And I'm just saying, man, a lot of people just looking at it for what it is. And I'm not judging nobody on this content, man. Like, do what you got to do. And that's the thing about me. I try to stay in my own realm, but yeah, man, what I saw from Roger Friday, um, that's a decent discussion. It was a good discussion. It wasn't no beefs or anything. It's just like a little disagreements with the gentleman, and I'm just looking at it like this. That's part of the critiquing part, but the young persons don't like to be critiqued, and that was just something that you have to deal with, you know. I know. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, but that's basically what you got to deal with, man. I had a little something but going on there, but that's okay. But I'm trying to do too much. But yeah, man, it's just basically what I seen from that channel, man. Like you have a lot of stark differences, man. Like the title says, elders versus the youth. Like that's just part of critiquing, and we critique the youth way too much. I mean, I critique myself all the time, but that's part of it. I think Ingram was saying that, they trying to help the youth, but it's like a little division. You got a little pushback from the few, but you got these younger dudes, man. Like I ain't gonna mention their names. It's sad that they don't listen to the elders. So they ain't grew up in an environment like I did. I mean, that's why I was cool with that Joey kid on Go Professor's live stream, and he's been through a lot. So I think I see him on another live stream with Dusty, but same old ways. But hope he keeps his head in the right direction, man. Because at that age, you got to focus on what you're gonna do more productively. In my 20s, I had to learn to survive, man. For one, I had to learn how to grow myself, getting them books, and learn how to live my own life the right way. And especially when I had those jobs in 2 years, I learned a lot about people and communication with others. I had to be my own self. So basically, I built this channel like a combination of a lot of things, and I talk about things like that. Some certain topics that people don't talk about. That's what makes me unique. I coming in like waving a saber, I don't even care. I just keep on going. See, panels is easy. If you talk for like hours upon hours, that's content. I agree with Kuda. Yes, that's content. I can do that. That's easy. I can do that myself with a pre-record. Talk for like 30, 40 minutes. But on a live stream is a little different because you're doing different things. You're checking on the chat, you're checking on whatever. And if you have a super chat or a cash app, you're checking on a lot of things. I mean, with your own self. I'll say the super chat, not the cash app's a little different. You can add that in your little information in there. So that's a whole nother story. But you can do your thing. You just can't really rely on certain things, like if people rock with you, they do. And if they don't, that's fine, but I know what 1,000 subscribers is. I mean, mine's not like a big thousand. I'm in the 190-ish area, trying to get over that, but it's not easy because take your time and it'll come through. And it's a possibility. And sometimes you share people's videos or be on panels. It's a combination how you get subscribers. There's plenty of ways how to get them. You don't beg for them. You just do the content, and it'll come forward to you. So yeah, man, and that's just what it is. But That's just me. But yeah. Let's see. The question is, will the younger ones speak with the older ones and vice versa? Can a relationship be built? In the event this can be done, the communication is established. Yeah, they can. Go professor. It takes certain, I would say certain elders that are not just, I'll say like this, not just the over talking. I get where silence coming from. A certain elder can talk to the young ones. I mean, I think they all should, but it's only a handful that the ones that they like. I think the younger ones that represent us, like myself, I could be a good representative to talk to them, but it's only a handful of us can give you a certain advice. If I get to their ages, I have to be one, able to listen, and we listen to each other where our points to get across about our issues in society, whatever, and how things work in an environmental level, or how we deal with politics or whatever, or jobs. You know, the young ones, it's a handful of young ones will listen. It ain't that many, because a lot of them have been bogged down with this stuff, and they sometimes bog down not just the mainstream but the mainstream news. I mean, the elders are correct, but sometimes you're doing the same thing like mainstream media does. You're not helping the youth. You mean some youth ain't going to agree with your same talking points. That's why you have to have certain levels of communication. It's a handful of elders that can teach you. Now, BGS, he's got kids. He's got a grandson. He ain't got time to babysit these men. They're men, you know. This ain't a therapy session like you talked all the time. You go to seek a professional. We got professionals here, PhDs from all different sectors. But, you know, they got professionals for you. You get their number. You do it online, like on the Zoom thing. My mom works with a therapist that has a lot. But here's the thing. She gets paid for the medical billing, and then see clients online from the Zoom. So I don't know if she does that now, but if she does, that's a good business model. But I'm just saying, there's people that can afford therapy less than that. You know, you don't have to pay $1,000 to see one. No, there's plenty in Georgia, there's plenty in Atlanta. That's black that can help you. When Joe Budden said that to that Puerto Rican guy from Connecticut, he said, no, there's no excuse. Go to therapy. I'm not the one that's going to use you as a therapy. No, this is, you go see a professional help, buddy. And that's what he told him. He said, you better go seek real help. And they're going to help you in the long run. That's cheap. Just want to hear you listen. And it starts out like $5, $10, or it goes up to $100. You know, it's how many times you see the therapist. You know, I've been there before. I know what that's like, and it ain't easy. I got off of it since I was like 23. So, you know, I've been to my trials of that on my side, my end. And yeah, he agrees with me. Okay. And yeah, man, it's just like the right elders have to help the right young ones. So it's a nice difference of the two that can help. You got a handful of brothers in the space that can help you. The young ones will listen. It ain't that many. It's just only a handful. But the rest of them, they just been bogged down by the TV and the blue pill society, or should I say mainstream society, just media and YouTube media on that side that's broadcasting the silliness. So you do have an alternative underground world on YouTube. It's called the Manosphere. No matter if it's, I don't even call them the white manosphere. I'm going to start calling them just the other side of the manosphere that's mainstream. I call it mainstream manosphere, because even though they got brothers over there, because Zero said the same thing, and that's just the problem what you got. What's going on, She? But yeah, man, I mean, the elders and the youth, when I saw it on Roger's panel yesterday, man, like Silent was saying, you got certain elders he had issues with, like Uru and them. See, Uru's from the past. A lot of people ain't gonna really listen to him as much. I respect his viewpoints. I mean, he ain't always right all the time. Like, I don't agree with everything he says either. He's stuck in his ways. Think about it. You know, BJ is the same way, but he done seen it. You know, I give him a pass because he's 60 something. He done seen it all. You know, much as BGS done been through, it's no, what's the point arguing with a 60-some-year-old? I'm 30-some years old, and I ain't gonna argue with him. He's like old enough to be my father. You know, he's my father's generation in the 50s. My dad was born in the early 50s, and he's almost 70. So it's no point. They too far gone. Even though they have the knowledge and everything, you listen. It's no point in debate and argue with them. Just listen for them, like 15 to 20 minutes, and that's it. And they listen to you. You take turns. That's what you do with seniors and guys that have a wealth of knowledge. You know what I mean? That you're supposed to come in with a different angle talking to an elder like that. Now, if he's a young elder or mid elder, like 50s and 40s, that's a different story. That's like, it could be your brother's age or your father's age close to you or half. That's a little different, but it's only a handful you can listen to in those age ranges. But sometimes Art is actually the best elder I can consider, because I think he's going to be 50 this year, but he's the one that makes more sense out of all. It's a handful. It ain't that many, because some of them just be off their rocker because they're going by the experience over a female, which is ridiculous. They don't need to put that on young brothers, man. That's why the youth will go against you. You know what I mean? Because the youth determines how they're going to be elders when they get older. That's the real future of it, because a lot of times the youth determines who's going to be the leader in the future. You know what I mean? Because you got to be careful, man, because the youth, they ain't playing with nobody, man. I had to learn that when I got in my 30s, but if I ever get to 40s, 50s, I ain't going to be like that. I have to learn to change myself. But you do change when you get older. And then once I noticed that, you got to be your own leader to the youth, especially online, especially these panels and things like that. So you have to. Let it rock. Go. Yes. Yeah, he is. I know his age. I know he's one of them. Him and Art, they're the only few that I can tolerate because they give you a different perspective. Here's the thing. You're able to listen to their point of view. And I think I heard him on a few panels on Rogers. And then I've been on a panel with him with this young guy, Joey. He's probably one of the best underrated elders we got. It's him and Art of New Style that I'm talking about. It's a handful. But the ones that's constantly complaining about females that's around their age, it's ridiculous, man. Like, what I mean by Uru and them guys, like, I don't listen to them guys 24/7. I'm sorry to tell you. I agree with Silent. It's a stark contrast. That's why I named this title what it is. Part 2, I'm going to go in why they do that, because it depends on where they're from. That's why you got a lot of problems in their areas where they come from, because it matters, like the environment they come in, what they're learning, what they're teaching. You're not really teaching the youth anything but the same circle jerk arguments. This is why you got guys like Zero coming at Black Uru's head, because he don't like certain elders of his age range, and because Zero's in his 40s, he don't like dudes like Uru. And there's a reason for that. It's personal. A lot of it's personal attacks and personal, not just feelings, but brothers ain't going to get along like that. It's too much. I've seen this growing up. Trust me. When they was my age, it was fisticuffs, man. Nowadays, they want to threaten people. It's just ridiculous, man. Like that age, man. You're supposed to be better than that for the people my age and on down, or 18-year-olds looking behind you. Even though we do the same thing too, but we got to break that. We can't be like the typical I would say the young boomers and the Gen X mindset. We can't, the ones that's corrupted. We ain't talking about all of them. We're talking about the corrupted ones that perpetuate in the space, outside of space, that you see on TV in real life, that perpetuate this argument that men ain't some. I forget the name of Roger's title yesterday. It was about Black men, but it was about the lie they tell about us. I mean, it's a good string until it went haywire when men get divided on certain issues and then delve into something else. But the point I'm saying is there's a stark contrast between the elders and the youth, because the youth is going to determine which elder they're going to listen to. And the youth is fighting against the corrupt elders. So, it's always something. It ain't nothing new. And the more I learn from these panels, I get more keen to learn from others. So yeah, it's one of those streams that I'm just going to delve into this topic more, and it continues. You see it when I was on the other side, when they was around y'all's age and they was trying to control the youth, and it's not easy. They're not going to listen to you making drunken streams all a lot, because 9 out of 10 they just going to be turned off by it. And I had to learn that probably the whole March. When I did listen to some of my peers, man, you got to listen to the right elders, man. Like, but BGS is the eldest out of everybody, because he's in his 4th quarter. What's the point arguing with him? It's suicide, man, because he got all the knowledge. I don't argue with somebody like my parent. I ain't got time for that. I know what he's gonna think. He's gonna be stuck in his ways. He doesn't seen the world. It's no need to beat him up. You know what I mean? Like, you learn from him. I ain't gonna disrespect him because you ain't gonna see that on this channel. He's always welcome over here, but we're not gonna come at him like that. You know, see, since he's a big name in this space, they attack him. They think they can trip him because he's older. That's what it is. A lot of it is ego. This relates to elders versus the youth again, right? These guys are younger than him. You see what I'm saying? It's like they're mid-aged men, but they're also used when they were in youth, they used to think the same way, trying to top the elder. You know what I mean? Because it's like a tug of war between the two. But that's the issues they have. And that's just sad, man. It's very normal that we think like that, but that's something we got to get a lid on first before we lead the younger men. So that's why I delve in this topic, man. It's something to look at. So, you know what I mean? It's getting ridiculous. Yes, sir. As an instructor, professor for the past 20 years, you develop a different way of communicating. Some of the people in these spaces are knowledgeable, but struggle with people listening. Exactly. That's what Silent was saying in a live stream, in a live chat. We was going back and forth about certain individuals cutting brothers off and getting their points out. I think Truth went at it with Black Uru yesterday, and he had some good points, but he keeps bringing up, I get so sick of dudes be bringing up KS. That gets on my damn nerves. Like, KS is irrelevant. He is so irrelevant to me. No disrespect to KS, though, but he is so irrelevant. Have your own talking points, please. KS is mainstream manosphere. He's mainstream media bound. He's tailor-made. He's done. I don't care what he does. Let the others critique him, man. I mean, for Christ's sake, I mean, the guy is is on a whole nother stratosphere, man. You can't take these dudes seriously like that, man. Like, I can't even lie about certain things. But, you know, it's just like I have to be my own man at the end of the day. I don't critique another man what his talking points can be and all this stuff. You know, I don't use his stuff to gloat, because KS is on a whole nother world, man. Like, I ain't even studying that. I think he bring up certain issues about the environment and the issues and stuff. And I think Truth was saying, and then they gave him some pushback, but he always bring up KS, man. Bring your own arguments, man. Like, I don't even watch dude like that. I'm not even subscribed to him. No disrespect to him, but who listen to guys that has a members only chat? I don't do stuff like that. Same with Angryman. I do dudes like that. I don't even mess with. I'll give you an example. Mr. Jack, I don't even mess with them. I know what they're about. They're about the wrong reasons. They ain't about the message. Their message is other things. You know, their message is a certain bot group of subscribers that follow them. They're bots, man. They're fanatics. I don't like fanatics. I'm a supporter first. I'm never a fanatic. I was a fanatic when I was a child. I grew out of that stuff when I was like 15 and on up. I am no fanatic. I hate fanatics deep down, because fanatics are the worst people, man. They're bots, man. They're slaves to the blue pill system. I don't tolerate that nonsense, man. You see that over in BGS's chats, the way they type. That's why BGS don't even take them seriously. I mean, he's a smart elder. I have to give him respect. He has a lot of somewhat patience and some impatience to deal with these bots, man. I mean, he's got some good followers. The ones is good, but the rest of them that be coming in that's not mod up, they're bots, man. I don't take them seriously, man. Some people just like to bring up individuals that they ain't never accomplished, man. Like, you get so tired of hearing that for individuals on Roger's panels. And Roger keeps telling them stop doing that, you know, with the KS talk. He respects Kevin. I don't use him as a reference. I'm sorry. Now, I may use BGS on some references and stuff, like what he says is something great, but that's it. He's the only elder that makes sense I can tolerate. But the rest of them, like, if I follow you, but if you have a members only chat, like, I'm just not going to support that, man. I made a mistake messing with Jap, and then when he had the members only, man, I already knew he was going to go mainstream, so I had to leave them dudes alone. There's only one Jeff Bezos. There's only one BGS, and there's only one KS. The point is they do what they do, and they have established themselves. Rock with yourself, build your points. Exactly. I agree with that. I build my own points, but I don't take all their points. I take some things where I learn from them. I look at what their content is about. I don't go in and say, "Oh, he say this and that." Yeah, same with BGS. Same with like any of us, even me. Have your own points. What I'm trying to say is, don't even try to listen to me as much. But I think this is a good beginning of how we're gonna end up leading ourselves. You got to be your own leaders first. Because one thing I can say this, even though I don't worship these guys, I take it to the next level, man. You try to, but it's not just podcasting. I mean, anybody can podcast. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You can get the lighting, you get all the nice, cool, fancy microphones all day long, which is great, right? But if your message ain't clear, if the people that's really genuine with you, they're not messing with you. All right. Now, the ones that like the shiny stuff, they're bots, they're fanatics. This is what I'm talking about. The elders that think like that and have a bunch of bots around, fanatics, that is something not right about that elder. Now, BGS gets away with it because he deals with the esoteric stuff. He is teaching people on panels and things like that, talk to him personally. He don't go on panels as much. He's very careful. You know what I'm saying? Like Angry Man is very careful. KS ain't got time to be on panels. He got his own panels. You know what I'm saying? I don't reference these dudes, but I'm just saying for an example, they have their own platforms. See, I know when we see them on panels, I've been on panels with both of them, AM and BGS, because I get what their message is, and I let them be, and I have no issues with them, not even over here. But I'm just saying, like, dudes that have issues with them, that's you and him. But one thing I can say is, to Silence point, you got other elders that ain't on their level, or do they have any content to sell on live streams or whatever? You can make any types of content, pre-records, self live stream, and this StreamYards or Zoom or whatever, or Melon, whatever. You can do that. But what's your message is saying? I mean, Uru's not a bad guy. It's just a lot of people just don't care for him. And I've noticed that as a panelist, he's always welcome on Rogers. And that's what the issue with people that are going to get on most panels with. Because I know he can be very long-winded and try to interrupt people because he's got some seniority and he's almost 60. So I get it. Because that's what it is, basically. But, it's just the younger elders is trying to take his spot, Let's see what Gold Professor said. We all give and receive ideas when it comes to content. And I say, lay out your own visions on the ideas, share directly or indirectly build. Exactly. And that's what I try to do, man. And I had great builds with certain individuals that have lesser subscribers than me. What's his name? Just DeAndre. Shouts out to him. Great dude. Check out his channel, man. I mean, he had a live stream when BJS was doing the slaves and aboriginals, and he had Dennis Spurlett in the mix, a shatter point, right? 5 hours and 55 seconds. One thing I can say, the content is not bad, but he's soundproof, right? And I can say this: how can anybody not listen to great content when you have different brothers and different perspectives of having your layout differences or opinions about where we come from and things like that? Everybody heard these arguments back in 2012 in the conscious community, whatever, and then you had the Moors with the feds is on saying they're indigenous and saying they're Native American, all this stuff, which they're not. I mean, all this silliness that they preach, it's silly stuff, what they be saying. Then you got one side, the Hotep deals with the African stuff, Egyptianology or Kemetology, whatever you want to call it, because I remember that stuff back 9 years ago. And then you got the Hebrew Israelite stuff, the school of thought. We deal with the Torah, or some people deal with the Hebrew Christian nonsense with the Jesuit thing, the Masonic thing, Jesus, which is kind of odd to me. But yeah, man, I mean, you have different schools of thought. And I think what was discussing his shadow point. I salute him for it, and it's the same argument. A lot of people don't want to hear it. Well, you got a lot of new followers that just don't know, man. You know, this is why you have topics like these, and like this one right here, elder versus the youth. It's not a bad deal. And that's just it. Yeah, Just DeAndre is a great channel. I was on a live stream with him, with DJ Kuda, and I'm going to say this: he is so long-winded. We took turns being fasting. It was 11-hour stream. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, I was on a stream with him. It's 11 hours. You might want to put it in your watch later. So I'm gonna tell you why. When I talk about content, when I talk about real content, I might have to do a screen share. Hold on. It's not the catch up. It's called Third Shift Late Night Podcast, and it capped it. It's really a 12-hour stream because they cut it off in 11 hours. It's speaking of credit. I'm gonna screen share it. Hold on. I'm gonna screen share this because this is what we're talking about. He was on this stream with me and we're fasting. And when Kuda's internet got messed up, I'm gonna break it down to you. I was on this stream. Okay. You see right here? That stream I was on for like really 12 hours with Just DeAndre. Me and him held down that stream for hours. We talked about different topics, different things, and we build off that stream. So that right there was probably one of the best streams I've been on. Now, we did the janky internet and tech, and we was trolling with Just DeAndre. I was on a second stream with him right here with the 10 hours right there. But this right here, we build for like 11 hours, like 11 to 12 hours, right? And it stopped on the 11-hour cap, right? We was on that stream for 12 hours. That's a hell of a build, right? Put this in your watch laters. And it's called Third Shift Late Night Broadcast, Speaking of Credit. It starts out what the panelists were. I mean, yeah, you got to listen to his music and everything. But in the midst of it, Just DeAndre started talking. We started talking. And Fasten was up there, and when everybody dropped off, that was a great build. That's a great build what we did. So yeah, his channel is absolutely great. I just subscribed to him a couple months ago. I mean, last month. I think it was last month, and he's a good dude. I've heard him a lot on Charles's and things like that. Oh, you was there? Yeah, it was a great build. I enjoyed that. That was probably the best builds I've been on with individuals like that. Probably the best third shift I've ever been on. That one's my personal favorite. I'll probably have to watch it again tomorrow or whatever. But we'll see. Because I'm gonna do one tomorrow morning. And then after I get done with that, then I'll probably put that in the afternoon and try to chill on that. Yeah, he's a good dude. Just DeAndre, yeah. Oh, you can't see? I put it on the screen share, but let's see. Let me get it again. Hold on. Let me create a new tab. Let's see. Let me see. Okay, let me go back again. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna screen share it. Hold on. I'm gonna screen share it. Hold on. Let's see. Screen share your boy. Let's see, Kuda. I'm doing so many things. Okay. It's okay. Oh shit. Ooh, do. Okay, right here. Okay, let me big it up. 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 Okay, right in here. Why I have this little thing right here? It says late night broadcast. I know you was there, but that right there, that was probably one of my favorite live streams. And the reason I say that, it's just it's just something, man. It's just something. And that was a good build, you know. And I appreciate him. You know, he has a good channel, and I saw his channel uh, on this Chrome book I'm on right now doing this live stream. Yeah, man, he has a great channel, and I appreciate him though. 2019, yeah, he's cool. I saw his live stream. I think it was Friday night when BJ said the Shadow Point. I think it was Friday night. Or no, not Friday. I think Thursday night. One of them nights. I think it was like Thursday night. It was a good stream. Here to just pause it till it blow up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you could check it out. I mean, it's a live stream that's big like that. I mean, yeah. So what I'm gonna do, I talk like at least an hour, um, 6 minutes. I mean, 7 minutes and 1 second. I'm gonna hit the link down here. Got it all set. See what the live chat's talking about. I'm gonna put this on a pin. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just gonna be moving. I'm gonna see something. I got some reverb. Hold on. Yeah, I'm good now. Had some little reverbage. But yeah, sometimes the wire I need a wireless. But yeah, yeah, the elders versus the youth thing, I think that should be discussed more. And I'm gonna try to delve into it tomorrow night as well. I'll probably be on the phone with that one because I ain't gonna show no links on that one. This one is just a pretense what's going on. So yeah. I'm gonna be live streaming on that and talk about the issues, what's going on in the world. So, yeah, because I think Silent brought up a great point. A lot of times people just want to be part of something. And I think, you have a clash between the two. And I've noticed that on Art of New Styles and his panel. So basically, you got this going on in the world. So, in the spirit, we critique each other as brothers. I mean, it's good and bad and whatever. And it's just like you get to a certain level, it's just it, you know. Pack this in. I'm just gonna put this up right here. So yeah, you know. Yeah, if y'all want to discuss and come up, I mean the links in the chat, I pinned it, and we can talk about the elders versus the youth. I mean, it's common in this space. I mean, just like the title says, I will do a part 2 of this and delve into why it's common, why there's different stark traces, some of its environment, different areas where brothers come from. It's very common. I've noticed this last year. I noticed this year. It's not gotten better, but certain brothers are trying to get better, but it's different points of views. And I think Padat laid it down yesterday's stream over at Rogers. Shouts out to him and Salah Lamont for this. This came out the top of the dome, so to speak. It's really telling what others think of you and things like that. And I think it's a good thing that we need to discuss this issue because the youth can go against you regardless because they don't listen to a lot of elders. And it depends on how they were raised too. And a lot of it's upbringing, man. And a lot of it's where you come from and what you're built like. Because a lot of times people, they don't have a lot of father figures in the homes, and that's why you got a lot of these a lot of people say YouTube daddies and stuff, which is kind of funny to me. But yeah, See, I have a 2-parent home structure, so I don't have these issues. That's why I don't flaunt it around in the Manosphere like that, because a lot of dudes come from no father backgrounds, and it's really sad, but it's very true, because you have a lot of problems like that in the community and things like that. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that people see what's going on. So I mean, let me see. Yeah, because I'm doing something right now. Okay, I'm gonna get my other device up. I'm gonna put something in the chat. Don't you worry, because I know I can't do it on this stream because on this Chromebook, because I'm in Chrome right now. Because I'll put something in the chat, because a lot of dudes, they just get amped up here and say whatever. So I'm good over here. I don't get emotional over it. It's just something to talk about and things like that nature. So yeah, man, I've been consistent with my content over here. Try to get this channel started and things like that. But I'm gonna go into the YouTube and the live stream. I'm gonna find that video of my boy. Yeah, Just DeAndre, man. If y'all catch it for like 11 hours, I mean, watch that. Put in your saves, whatever. Just keep it pushing, man. Because that dude is awesome, man. Like, I mean, he's got content for days, and I'm just gonna see what Kuda's got. I'm not gonna promote his stuff, but check out this video. I'm gonna hit this right quick on you share. Um, I don't want to post it on the community tab. I'm gonna post it in the link in the chat. Let's see who's live streaming me. Yeah, I'm gonna put this in the chat. I'm gonna put this in the chat, yo. I'm gonna put this in the chat, yo. Oh, it didn't go. Oh shit. Okay, okay. Let's see. Let me find it. Let me find it. Hold on. No, I'm an expert. Share, copy. Okay. Well, I can't do it on this device. Okay, I think it's on another one. Okay. Let's see. Let me back out for a minute, because it gets tricky on these devices that I got. Oh, okay. Let me put it in the chat again. Okay, let me share this. It's a little different because I'm on a different pixel, so I'm good. Let me put this in the chat, and I'll go back to Thai City. We'll do it that way. Yeah, yeah. Check that out. That's a link to the channel. That's just something that I put. Um, you can check him out for like just 11 hours. Just watch. You can watch the whole thing or go to the midst of it. I would say like put it in your watch laters, and you see that build what I'm talking about. That dude's amazing, man. Like, if anybody's new, watch that. Put it in your watch laters and save it for like a day, or pick a spare time of your day to watch it, or like a weekend, whatever. Because we was talking about a lot of different things, and he's all right. I didn't realize he was getting older. I think he's like in his 30s, almost going on 40. Yeah, he's a good dude. Yeah, this is like the elders versus the youth. It's very common, man. And I'm just saying, like, you got these things going around. So I'm gonna copy the link for a minute, and then I'm gonna put it right here. I'm not gonna type nothing in the chat. I'm just gonna paste it just in case. Yeah. So
What's going on, man?
what's going on, Sheik?
Is my audio good? Cause I don't even have my headset on. I'm just
Oh, you good. You good. You sound good.
cool. Yeah, man. When it comes to this, you know, you right. When it most of the elders, man, I give all the elders kind of more or less respect. But some of them you just can't rock with them because they so set in their ways, you know, and then they try to, it's almost like it ain't even like poison. It's like impregnate the youth. Poisoning is one, but you trying to make them carry on the legacy though. That'd be the craziest part. You know, trying to make them carry on that legacy of hardcore men and you know men always been men, but we've always adapted and learned. We stood the test of time because we knew how to adapt. We knew how to change up things that didn't work. We knew how to make certain things to be better. Ism, I was on his early and he was talking about how, the young boys, they get on the men. I mean, they get on the young boys for, being so rough and playing so hard. But, he said, they were inspired to, jumping off of so much stuff till they wanted to fly. So, I stood the test of time to where as things, happen in this space and throughout, we're constantly growing and, learning new things and trying to make things better for ourselves. And I just don't get it because, growth is a part, but when you have the elders trying to, keep it the same or just even keep the light from the youth, I mean, how the young guys gonna come up in progress?
Right. Right. Yeah. Sometimes you have a lot of times that the youth, they just look at them like the opposition. It's just like Silent deals with the over talking with Uru, and we was commenting yesterday on Friday and in the chat, and he said, "You see," he's saying my name. You see this going on? Yeah, it's just like last year. I think him and BGS went at it, but see, it's a age difference because one's in his early 60s, and I think his birthday's this month, but he'll be 63 this year, and the other one just was 41, I think, from last year. Now he'll be 42 this year, but this is the problem I've seen. It's a little of the age difference of the elders, but one's trying to be in his spot. It's competitive, but the thing is, it's normal as men. We always have that competitive mindset, especially black men. But the problem is, you got dudes that have different points trying to lead a certain way of the youth. Even our generation and ones like the millennials and alpha, it gets kind of tiring after a while. But I think Roger tries to be fair with the two, and but he has a name. I mean, BGS has the big name, so it's kind of hard to go against an elder like that that established himself. But it's just like it's very normal, And I understand where Silence coming from. They just, some people rock with them, some don't. Just it goes for anybody. Um, you just got to be one of those dudes.
Yeah,
So
and that thing with Silas when he jumped on, man, he actually made the panel open up even more because it created a better dialogue, to kind of, see the difference and what was going on. Because, I mean, being honest, we always have that big argument when it comes to the youth coming in and trying to plead their case to the elders because they always say, BGS say, I've lived it, I've known this, not that. I don't knock that critique, but at the same time, you can't take what you know and pass judgment on what I know, you know? And that'd be the biggest thing to where, my experiences brought me to where I am without an elder. So let me live. I mean, personally with me, I rock with elders a lot. They taught me stuff and some of the things they didn't teach me, you know, they taught me the worst way to do things and I took it for that. I learned not to, do certain things in a marriage because it's not going to benefit me. I know certain things I shouldn't do at jobs, the way I look, the way I dress, critiquing everything because I went through and seen these guys make mistakes. So it made me become better because I went around those.
right, I do the same thing with him and others like him that he has a past and a background, and then he talks to certain PhDs, and he's seen like a community builder. He's done all the things that's necessary. He's in the fourth quarter of his life. What's the point arguing with his age group? Because you already know they're gonna be stuck in their ways, and I kind of respect that. And he tries to be fair and care and tries to help brothers that gives them the right message. But you got dudes that have their ways as well. You know, you don't want to be like him, but he's trying to tell you you want to do it the right way, do it right the first time. You know, and I think Angerman was agreeing them on that. The same thing with the followers of KS, and quit trying to use his name for clout. You know, be your own man. I mean, that's what they want to see. They want to see results. You know, when you're result oriented, that age group. My dad's the same way in a little bit, but sometimes he don't really care because he follows the crowd too. But every boomer is different. They're not the same. I've noticed because my father, he's more traditional, old school boomer. He grew up in the radio era, and then certain manner and all that stuff. But B just coming an era where it's between Gen X generation and ours a little bit because we're the kids with his kids, right? Because he has a son at 35. He talks with his grandsons. He's complete. He been through based off his experiences, but he's trying to tell them don't be like him. It ain't for everybody. Like the MGTOW stuff and all this stuff, it's not for everybody. He ain't trying to pressure you to be like him. You know what I mean? Because a lot of his followers don't get that. That's the problem. And I think Silent is different. If he say he don't rock with you, and even if you're wrong, he ain't gonna mess with you. And I agree with Silent's point. We talked like yesterday. So
Yeah, because even with Silas, what he was talking about, I mean, Wu just made his case be more known. The way he kept interrupting him, and that's like one of the things I like with Go Professor channel. He tried to teach guys not to interrupt and to let some guys get their thought out because ultimately, when you try to have a conversation and you never can finish your thought, you lose track of what you're saying, what you're thinking about, and then you have to go to have the conversation go in a different direction.
right. That's why I mess with Wacky World of O. He's got some years on me. I know he's born in 84 and I was born in 88. And we try to keep our channels similar to that manner. We don't talk no mess because we see it a lot of times in panels and regs panels and everywhere. We try to avoid people like that. But that's what Uru comes from. I mean, yes, he's got knowledge. He's a smart dude, but some people don't want to be on panels with him in general. This is why you got guys like Zero come at his head like that because he's in his 40s and he got kids and he's a MGTOW person. That's why you don't mess with Roger like that. If you ever notice, half of your generation don't mess with guys like that because there's a divide between the old Gen X and the young Gen X. That's what I'm seeing. But I've noticed based off this title alone, I'm breaking down why is it like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can't blame the boomers for everything. You have to blame the previous generation for that too, how they were like that. So it's a generational problem. It's also our problem as well because we have that boomer mindset, which is not good. We act just like them in a way with our spending and things like that because you don't want that disease, man. Like I see it all the time in these spaces and people complain about the frivolous same old things with the females, but others say money and things like that or building. That's when brothers get attached to certain things. But it happens. I mean, it happens to the best. And then Silent said, like when he got interrupted by Uru, but he interrupted True as we know it. But he keeps bringing up KS. Of course, that gets Uru triggered. And I'm saying his point and Truth's point. But Angerman was up there, just let him go at it. You see how calm he was because all the stuff he does, he's gotten better. And I'm like, see, that's the difference. I mean, that's what you got to look at. But it's the name. It's what gets them wound up. But go ahead.
Yeah, because I mean, everybody have their little viewpoint and the topic they want to critique when it comes to the space, and the youth, to me, they want to outshine and be right over the elders. And I'm like, let's stop having this fight and let's focus on the fight of these younger guys learning something and it benefits them in the space. That's my biggest thing. Let's get something to the point where they can benefit. If you're going to argue your point to where it helps. Don't argue your point to where you can just say I'm right. Cause I think it was Rude D or something like that. That guy, he
Hmm.
argued with Anger Man on a panel one time, and him and Rude got into it, and Rude was like, I told you Kevin was this and Kevin was that, and when it came down to it, Anger Man was like, all right, you won. He was what you said. Like, what do you want me to do? He's like, I just want you to acknowledge. He's like, I acknowledge you. I can't do nothing more. He said, I took the man for what he told me and the way he acted. That was it. But I told you he was a snake and I told you this and that. He was like, all right. I'm like, at the end of the day, they can argue this and that, this, that, and this all the way down. But the fact of the matter is, everybody's trying to blow in the manosphere. Everybody's trying to have their, 5-10 minutes of fame. So, it doesn't matter who takes the message out. It's just the whole point. Once the message gets out, we got to keep the message going. See, a lot of guys not looking at that. They're so keen
Okay.
on wanting to be the one who brings out the message or the one to be in the forefront, whether it be an elder or not. They want to say, well, I did this. It's like the Highlander mentality or legacy to where, we always refer to O'Shea, Obsidian,
Hmm.
and them, and Angry Man as being the guys who broke out, the black manosphere. But when it comes down to it, like if somebody else comes up with something in their term, will they be outdated or will they not get the proper shine or recognition? So it's almost like the next generation comes in, like right now. The first generation manosphere guys, they're not getting their flowers. And the ones that are getting the flowers, they're getting overcast by other guys, because the funny part is with what's old boy that Tommy right now. Tommy keeps coming over here trolling us, but Tommy already said once before that he's not a part of this side of the manosphere. So why are guys letting him in to, just kind of more or less troll? Because that's all he's doing.
Yeah, I blame. I would say Bernie Povich, aka Bernard Riley, that crew. They let him in. I blame that because Tommy never gave a damn about the manosphere. He never will be. He's not welcome over here because he clout chases. I tell him straight up, dude. Just because you made Mr. Fitnelli cry or Fantastic cry on the panel with Lucario defending your little buddy, they're gonna come at your head again. Like that's just one time. Just because they ain't gonna stop. Just like I do the screen share, that live stream I'm talking about is there aren't enough good black men live. I agree with that live stream title, but then it turned into the elders versus youth thing. That's what I'm trying to expound on. Even though Roger has the same 1,000 subscribers like I do, but he's in the 900 going on 2,000. I mean, that's the challenge he's trying to grow. Shouts out to him anyway. That was a great live stream yesterday because it was like the yesterday that time, and I think Roger was trying to point out something, trying to beat that narrative. And then I think Angry Man came in, and I saw him on the panel. I was like, "Is that Angry Man?" And then later, it's Charles, the old 2.0 gang, and then BGS came later. He told them they said drop the link, and because Truth was talking about KS, and then he was talking about a lot of other stuff based off the title of the alone in that video. And then to come to find out, Uro kept cutting him off like he always do, because he tries to answer a point, and that's his habit of doing. And this is why the other side don't like Uru because they always checking him a lot, and then he don't understand why they coming at him. Well, you're known for doing such, such, such. That's why a lot of people don't mess with Roger as much. It's only a handful. I mean, I saw Ty City yesterday in the chat. In Rogers, which is cool. He had a nice chat box. It was getting over,
Yeah.
a lot of views. I give him credit, but the thing is, though, that ain't gonna change. It's just how certain individuals. I mean, Wacky said there's no 1.0 got their flowers. It's the website. The problem is 2.0 leadership don't give us the credit. That's the problem. It's not the people. They don't know nothing about this space. If they study 1.0, we done said it many times. That's why Solon Black is on Rumble and Vocal right now. He ain't studying about 2.0. He said y'all had a year to produce content of going mainstream, but y'all had like what it could say 8 to 9 years. No, it's more than that. Y'all had time than that. We had time. See, we legitimize what we've done because we came from the pre-record era. They came based off Google Hangouts and live streams. 3.0 was supposed to be a continuation of podcasting in tech. And what hurt 3.0 is you had stream teams and you had Black Brain Trust. Neither one of them's producing. I agree with Kuda like that. Yeah, but you have a leader over there in the Brain Trust supposed to be the leader of the Manosphere. You know, you came under BGS, and I agree with someone said on a panel, and Kuda said BGS is the only one that runs no more than tech than anybody. And I agree with that statement. I said, yes, I agree. It was a recent third shift stream. And I said that what he just said is so true. It's very valid. It's just Brain Trust should have produced more. And the problem is you had a lot of egos. And then the game versus non-game thing kind of effed it up. And I blame the individuals on Zero's panel messing that up. And that's where the split came. And Bernie Povich ruined it as well. You know, I blame all of them for that. And that's what they want. And Platinum and Ism, they're not the problem. They just don't like them because they do different things outside the manosphere. So that's just what it is. And I look at them as entertainment. I don't view them as guys to go to. You know what I mean? They got their own little thing. Them and Dusty, that's a whole nother world. Yeah. We're talking about manosphere dudes actually doing the work. You know, it's message wise. You know, you got guys like that. Kuda, he messes with them for entertainment, but he's well balanced and out of anybody on the other side. So yeah, it's a lot of egos, a lot of people that don't that's supposed to be about something about content, but you have one individual ruin that. So I already know how stream teams went down. You know. But Black Brain Trust, they're supposed to produce the tech content, which they don't. They just deal with information and the Sapio and all the other stuff. So that's a whole nother story on them. Gabe can tell you about them.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, because when it boils down to it, that's what I always push. And I tell guys, I'm over here for the knowledge. And I'm just trying to, figure out if we're going to push some type of content to help the generation, what is it going to be? And that's why I say I'm sticking, to be honest. I might start just going away from this whole woman versus man talk and everything, and just focus on marriage and the money aspect, because I was talking with Alonzo. I was actually trying to get more insurance, but I ended up saying I'm just gonna go ahead and get it for my kids because I got enough. I mean, if my wife can't do it with the money that's already available, I mean, it's just not gonna be done, at the end of the day. So I'm gonna give her that, and I'm gonna go ahead and try to do some other things as far as dealing with my boys, get them the money, because that's been my whole thing as far as the manosphere. And I keep trying to push this with the guys. I'm like, we have to teach the youth. I mean, that's going to be our biggest thing, is teaching these younger guys, how to motivate them to get the money. Because if you're in the game, you're not going to get married. Your next step is to go ahead and have money for the future, for us hospice and stuff like that. Being that that's going to be the next step in you doing something for your life. I keep pushing the younger guys. That's why I keep trying to push that on my channel. So even if you married or not, you still got to live. You still got to make money. You still got to produce. And a lot of guys not getting that aspect.
I would say that most people don't listen to enough people just because most people haven't heard it one. That's debatable. I've heard enough. I'm talking about a lot of people are not wise. They're bots. Like I said again, most people are not wise. I can say that for all three Manosphere versions. These people just want to hear themselves talk. I've heard enough. I heard enough last year, and they're not wise. There's only a handful I've listened to. I don't listen to everybody because they don't have a good message. And if they're talking about things that's not current, and if they're not talking about building, I'm not messing with you. I've dealt with people like that like 9 years ago. I've seen people come and go in this space just because um, it's you see hear enough. I mean, yes, platinum is nice, but he's for entertainment. I already know what they are. I know their audience. These live streams can tell you who they are. It's more than just listen to everybody. A lot of them don't have good messages. I use them for certain uh, types of channels. What I use them for to watch. Now, if I'm looking for somebody that's gonna give me knowledge, like I give you an example. BJS is one of them. It's a handful. And if his content is good, I listen to his old stuff. And that's how I learn about him. Now, Kuda's different. He deals with entertainment and tech and all that other stuff. And I use him for a valuable resource when it comes to gear and stuff and people he listens to, right? And I look
Yeah.
at subscriptions and all that. And same with BGS. I look for different. Now, Green Gorilla is another one. He's a good one. I don't really care for Dennis, bro. He's like a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer type guy. I heard his stuff. Don't get me wrong. I've heard his lies. He's a good dude. It's only a handful that I can deal with some that's wise. But if you're really wise, you got to be like a BGS type for me. You have to really get my mind. These dudes is 40 and 50, nah. Because the way they be arguing on panels, nah, I dealt with them and been in wars with them since March and then last year. And I ain't got time for that. They're not about building. And when Kuda tells you that, he know them dudes. I know them too. You know, they just on panel wise, but I don't know them like in real life. But I know how they get down on the internet. That's just sad. But Anger Man is the only one I can say that's more wise than them other guys. I'm just saying. You know, he's
Yeah.
been through a lot. You know, I can respect. But them other individuals, they make things right. Then we can talk. But after that, nah. It's only a handful. It's not
A
that
lot,
many.
a lot of those guys, man, it kills me because they're just here for the money. To be honest, that's all
Facts.
they're here for. If 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 we had more guys that could come in and as far as even with the tech, push the tech, we got that. I mean, life insurance. I mean, stock. We got that spread it out, but it's the channels that actually produce the content, where it's like far as knowledge, you're not getting that many people going there. I've talked with Gold Professor offline a lot, and I told him, man, I was like, your channel is great. I say, but the point of it is, it's gonna be a slow grind for him because most people wake up in their older years. Far as the youth, you know, you got to be in tune a certain way to actually come over there and get some knowledge. Other than that, you just basically roaming the streets, the YouTube streets, looking for the he say she say in the fights. You know, because I was thinking about doing that one day, just for promotion, just to kind of spark up something with somebody, and we go back and forth online, and in the end, just come out and say we never had beef, we never had drama, we knew that by doing this, we was gonna have bandwagons, you know, and that's like the key, just to show, like, I mean, all it takes is guys fighting and arguing. I mean, the whole thing can be orchestrated and teeth and nails. I mean, look at the whole situation with Platinum and Auntie and Let's See. Like that
Yeah.
was like even with Bomb Cherry jumping in and having a 24-hour string about kicking Platinum off. I'm like, man, it's wild. Just for dropping her down and letting the other girl, whoever get her, like the space, like I keep saying, I'm here for the knowledge. I can accept that, certain things are gonna be in here, but it get kind of redundant when you kind of want more for the space to try to get people to produce more than just the same foolishness all the time. You know, because right, Charles, even with Dr. Dunbar, I'm always over there listening to him. Great content. Even Green Gorilla, he hits real hard topics, man. And I think I see what's kind of trying to do the same now. The lawyer guy, Dennis Furlan. He's come off the woman man topic, and he's starting getting into the history and stuff like that too now. Because I mean, it's needed. I mean, the back and forth with the women and men, there's only so much content you can do, and the older you get, just like you were saying earlier, it gets kind of redundant, like a broken record. We have to always come over here. have this gender war fight, and then we're not doing anything about it. If you're gonna leave the community, leave the community. If you're gonna stay in the community, stay. Like I said, for all the guys that do these gender war arguments, if we can do one one topic a week, or maybe even two about building, I can say that's good. But to every day do a video, 2, 3 videos a day about fighting with the women and no result. All you keep saying is, I told you they're gonna be this way, and I told you this, and I told you that. Okay, we know. Now what's the next step? Well, how are we gonna heal? How are we gonna build? That's why DS1, his channel is so important, because he focused on the aspect of the man building. And I'm like,
Facts. Yeah,
that's
I
like
agree
the
with
key.
him.
You know, a lot of guys, we can argue all day that the women are like this, but when I ask you, so what are we gonna do? Because this whole topic, I've been hearing guys talking about leave the women alone. I'm like, okay, that's good for you, but it's not going to be good for everybody else. So what is going to be to, let's put some processes in place for the guys who are going to leave the women alone. What is their main objective? For the guys who are going to get back on that horse and still try, what is their main objective? Because like I said, my focus is just in general. You know, go out there. If you're going to play the game, play it to win. Vet the women, and all the guys who say that vetting don't work, that means you're not going to be in the game, because what other option do you have? And like I tell guys, there's no guarantee in a marriage. You can get married to a woman today and she can file for divorce tomorrow because you didn't tie her shoe. There's no guarantee.
Right. And that's usually what it is. It depends on who you listen to. I mean, I don't mess with the Viper Pit as much because I already know what they're gonna say. Because on panels, when I be on with females, I try not to be aggressive because some dudes love to argue with those topics because it could be experience, inexperience, whatever, but they try to bait you. And me and Wacky talk about this about Zero when he has a channel, and I try to tell this to Badot. Anytime you get in an argument about atheism, for example, he's trying to bait you, and me and him talked about that yesterday on the open panel. And he said, when they bait you, you try not to go with that argument. I try to tell him, look, what do he always say? He said, I don't deal with the magic stuff. And I try to tell him, I don't deal with the flat earth, right wing stuff, and I just walk away. And it's just in the conversation, because we already know it's going to go left. That's usually the way it is. So, yeah. Let's go on, CG3. You got the
Another
floor.
month. Okay. For me, I'm gonna just dive in, and you guys can feel free to interrupt whenever you want. Whenever you want. For me, I think everybody should be focusing on. To me, this is my opinion. Is what is going to bring you the most happiness and peace in your life. That should be it. Now, once you create happiness and peace in your life, then you can help other people. Too many people are external. You're so worried about what other people are doing instead of focusing on yourself, and that's what I'm always focusing on. If I could help young men, period, I would say, hey, figure out a way to survive. Figure out a way to be an asset to other people, and figure out how not to be bitter at other people's choices. Now, we all try to think externally, like we are all the community, but people have to agree to associate with you. So how do you separate who's going to work with you and who's not? So I'm not trying to force people who don't want to work with me to work with me. That's kind of idiotic, because I may think that because I'm wise, or because I'm Charles, and because I'm a black man, you should work with me. But it's going to always be, just because they are phenotyped like me doesn't mean that they think similar to me. So I always tell people, if a woman doesn't want you, then find a woman that does, because life isn't fair. There's always going to be somebody out there that more people are going to associate with or think are the better candidate to listen to. Some people are going to want entertainment, and some people want knowledge. Some people are going to just want to live a life and have a family, and some people are going to want to be out there and take advantage of the system. I said, for every person, just be happy with your choices and be ready to reap the consequences of your actions. But we have so many people that don't want to take self-responsibility. And first, I don't know if you guys agree with this, but we all work like intermingly. We're all like a mesh. So what you do will affect other people, but figure out a way that if what you do doesn't affect other people negatively, but it's kind of hard to get people to see that. So we are so focused on the wrong that other people are doing, instead of trying to figure out what right we can do and how we can improve the lives of the people that associate with us. So when I listen to people, I enjoy the entertainment aspects, I do, but I stay away from the drama. I stay away from people who say, that you don't know what you're talking about, because in the big scheme of things, all I'm worried about is how I'm gonna eat today, how I'm gonna stay dry, and let's say if I had a family, how do I take care of my family without hurting other people? That's just pretty much my thoughts. You guys can go against it or tell me what you think about the basic things of what I'm saying, but that's what's most important. I don't want to bring Sheet any pain. I don't want to bring Sir O any pain. If I can't help you, I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm just trying to do my own thing. That's me.
Yeah, I agree with everything you say. I try to focus on me, but what I do is I listen to the content creator and his content, what his message is. I subscribe to people with if their message is genuine, and I think me and Wacky we say the same thing too, but I agree with him on certain things. Sometimes we may disagree, like we did yesterday. But the good thing about it is I take into account what I said yesterday. Like I try to be different than everybody else. I try not to force things on people because you got a lot of people that don't believe in the Most High, and we try to refrain from that because this space promotes a lot of atheism and stuff like that. I try to stay away from topics like that. It's flat Earth topics because then it goes left and goes haywire and all the shouting and all that. And like I seen that years ago. But I've learned a lesson though. There's always the key to know more. I'm still learning more because the older I get, it's always something else to learn. And then you have to learn about yourself, what you did in your youth. And like this title says, like elders versus the youth. What I saw from Roger yesterday, it could have resolved on the panel, but I think Silent took his way and say, look, I'm gonna stand on my square and BJ is going to stand on his square. But you know what it is battling of the youth. But you could be free, feel free. Who do you listen to? I don't force nobody be on this platform. That's not my thing. I try to learn for what individuals talk about and topic wise. Even on live streams, I learn a lot for see what their viewpoint is, because I try to understand, like, are you on point on your message? Not just in your real life, can it help you in the long run? See, I'm helping myself with these live streams to learn about different people, because I'm not at a level to get all those views, and one thing I can say, like what CG3's point, yes, you should focus on yourself. And it's a great thing to do, like instead of worrying about the big names on YouTube. I'll tell you a secret. If you worry about the guys that got millions, it becomes dangerous. You try to look at it, but you don't have to subscribe to them. All right, just passing it. All right, good. Appreciate it, Bunker. But yeah, it's just one of those things, man. You try not to worry too much. And then I worry about me and I sleep good at night. I have no problems. I don't even think about this stuff. I try to keep different topics that I move forward. And what I've learned from last year, you try to be different what you did last year as a panelist and now trying to be a host of a panel yourself and try to steer people the right direction. But my thing is you try to be better than you can be like you was yesterday. So, I'm just trying to move forward. And if it ain't about building, I'm not going to watch that person's content like that. I do that sometimes on live streams, others, and I look at my own live streams where I need to improve on, and that's the thing. I just focus on me half of the time. But yeah, I watch his others' content as well, but I don't delve into it. You know what I mean? I sky watch, I chat a little bit, and then I kind of just pop out and see who's going to be on. The drama's cool, in some degree, but I don't like it too crazy. I just try to step out of it. If it goes far left, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna walk away. Yeah. Go ahead, Sheik.
Dropped off the panel. Okay, there you go. Yeah, no, I hit a button and dropped off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, man. When it come back to it, though, I'm the same way, man. I worry about mine. I don't try to get over on people, try to do people wrong because my biggest thing is, like I keep saying, the men need the knowledge. A lot of guys don't have fathers, so when it come down to it, we got to start teaching them something to build a community with. Because the biggest things I keep hearing so far is the youth, they're not gonna, as far as right now, the men, they're not involving themselves in relationships. Okay, so if they're not gonna do that, what is the youth gonna do? Are they gonna carry the same thing? And how are they gonna teach the next generation to say, well, this is what we started, but this is what we need to accomplish, So if we need to accomplish something, they have to have the tools. That's like carpenters for years. They always had their kids come into the trade. That's how the trade was always passed down from generation to generation. Now you got everybody being influenced to do other trades and other things. So the art is going to get lost, and that's going to be the biggest thing with the message. The whole, what's they call it, lost in the sauce. The whole message is, if the women are not going to do the right thing, let's leave them alone. What men are saying, okay, if they're not doing the right thing, we're leaving them alone. But what are we going to teach the next generation to say, okay, this is what's going to happen. So if your generation of women don't pick up, we need to follow this step and pass it to the next generation so they'll know when they start acting right or start doing whatever we want them to do, this is what needs to be done. Because we already know in agreement that just in one generation or maybe even two, what we want out of the deal might not come. So we still have to pass on that knowledge because, like I keep saying, if the guy is coming in and the women are going to start doing right, how are we going to handle that situation?
I, can I ask a question, She? Because I think I get what you're saying, but I need you to clarify, um, and let me know if I'm wrong. You're saying that because I- you're saying that because men don't see relationships, they're not learning relationships, so they're not going to be able to interact with women. I'm trying to just extrapolate what I heard you say. Am I correct or incorrect when I make that assessment?
Yeah, I'm trying to deal with these kids. But yeah, I was saying basically, when it comes down to it, a lot of guys are saying they're not gonna be in relationships with a lot of women because they keep going through the same things over and over again.
Hmm.
So for those guys are not gonna be in a relationship, the guys who say I'm completely done with women, I'm gonna be a monk. Okay, cool.
Hmm.
Now, the next generation of kids, not your kids. If you have kids and you switching up, you're gonna go monk mode after dealing with a woman. Cool. Let's say you don't, but you have nieces and nephews. You got to still teach them some type of goals and what to look for in a woman for the next generation. You got to
Okay.
pass. You got to pass it down because otherwise, how am I gonna know what to look for? And no one gave me the proper training on what to look for. I'm gonna fall for the first thing that comes in my lap because that's how the generations before have done. The men wasn't there. They didn't have nobody to guide them. So ultimately, you fell for whatever you fell for.
So I'm gonna say some things, and feel free to interject. Let's make this a conversation. I don't want a monologue. I don't want a dialogue. I want you to interrupt whenever you want. See, I think the problem is most people don't know what the family dynamic is anymore. Most men don't know how to associate with women, and most women don't really know how to associate with men. And you have a lot of people confused on what their roles are in life. Now, let's say most people don't attend a church or something that's going to teach them a standard for what a man should be and what a woman should be, or a family morality dynamic. Now, you're going to have situations where people don't know how to cooperate. You have a lot of people. I'm not trying to put it on one gender. I'm not trying to do that. But you have a lot of women or men that just grew up with seeing the female dynamic, and then they don't know how to. They don't have the masculine dynamic to know how to interact. So then now you have people that don't even know how to have relationships. So if we don't have communities and we don't have people who understand how to have relationships, how do you establish families? And that's the problem. So you got people that may find men and women attractive, but because they've been taught a certain way, they've been socialized, they've been acclimated to do certain things that they're not. I won't say beneficial, but they're not compatible in relationship dynamics when it comes to being with a man or a woman. And I think that's the biggest complexity, is trying to figure out how do you solve that dynamic. How do you get, like, even though, like, you said something about, like, the Game Brothers, Platinum and Ism, but Ism have what they come on earlier today saying that do you want a man or do you want a girlfriend? And I think that now today we have more women that don't really like men for being men. They want men to be women. So it's kind of hard when we have a skewed view of what people are, how they should be. And, like, it's great that you got people that have families like she that want to teach people, but in general, you got, like, say 70% of the people growing up that don't even know how to interact with each other. And so they're, quote unquote, going their own way. And I don't even know how to solve it. I can tell people just to talk to people and learn with them, but it's hard when people don't really, what's the solution when the society is dynamic in itself? You understand what I mean? Are you guys still there?
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Because
So
when it
yeah, I
comes
think that's
down
the
to, yeah, go ahead.
no. I just think that's the biggest problem. Like I like listening to people like you or people who think they have the dynamic, but I think it's kind of hard to solve the problem when you come from a negative place for the solution. A lot of people, instead of saying, "Hey, just learn to talk to men and women," hey, try to figure out in conversation what you both are looking for, and understand that you have to sometimes to get to a certain goal. First, find people that want your goal, and then be willing to either sacrifice or compromise, or to work together to achieve that goal. But so many people, like you say, they don't reach adulthood or reach that maturation process until it's too late. Especially when it comes to ladies, they might not say, "Okay, I'm going to be agreeable and work with a man," and she's 45 or 50. Now she can't have a family, and then the men, some men are like, she can't have children. Why should I create a family with her? And that becomes the situation. That's just what I see. You know, that's just what I see. Right or wrong, I don't have the answers. I do think it's great to talk about it. I like that Sir O, he talks about different things, but if we're gonna get to the gist of it is how do you get men and women to cooperate with each other without each other seeing each other as the enemy? How do you do that? That's the question. How do you teach the children that when they don't see it? I don't have the answers, but that should be the conversation, and it shouldn't be a negative conversation to have. I shouldn't be putting down men or women. I should be trying to figure out how do we, as people, as a community, as Black people, or how do we connect? What do we do? What's the question? That's the answer. What's the question? It's weird. I'm confusing myself now, but you guys get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
the question is the environment has to some of it has to change, and I think the men have to adapt, even though we can't be focused on what feminism has changed. The style of feminism, yes, it's worldwide, but it won't last forever because as men, like other races is feeling it too, along besides Black men. But if you want a family structure, you want to start what you learn, not just from school, but what your parents, but don't make the same mistakes that they do. But everybody's capable of self-reflecting, and what I've learned is you got to have structure and some money to take care of children. Don't have them out of wedlock, and it's a business. It gets complicated. I've seen people have a lot of children, and especially in my generation, they try to have a dozen. I mean, that stresses you out. I mean, you really got to life because your second, I will say, third quarter, fourth quarter of your life. Because when I look at BGS's life, I'm like, he always talk about his sons and his grandsons and those divorces. Like that man's been through the ringer. But you have some that deals with family. I forget their names, but certain YouTube users and even my own family, like my father and my mom, they've been married almost like 40 years. It ain't easy, but it's tough, but it's the work. I mean, the oldest of two, understanding that, they have a foundation. See, I understand the foundation. It's not easy because sometimes you got to communicate. That's part of it in marriage. Some of it has different needs. Men are different because we don't want to deal with that emotional labor, but a lot of men don't want to deal with that. Now, some men do. Don't get me wrong. If you want a family and you want to deal with that emotional labor, it's certain men can do that, but every man can't do that because, a lot of times it can be ego. It can be a lot of things, but the women's going to do what they want to do anyway because they have been programmed to think the way they do. But some of them want men. Like I agree with certain things with KS is saying. Certain women do want marriage and the structure, and it's only a handful, which is sad to say. But those are the ones we should work with. I'll say like this: about 1% and 15%, half of them are going to make it. But the rest of them, like 99% that don't want to change, that's their lost cause. I mean, that goes for all race of women. And I don't care if you ex-wives being love to travel, just be careful because a lot of women can turn to the systematic feminism regardless any day. And that happens. It happens to the best. They don't always have to be the ugliest. It could be the prettiest. I said this on a few panels of Kuda. The prettiest woman can be a feminist. Those are the ones you got to watch that try to me to you and try to get on top and based off the food chain and the money. Men don't see that. They see a nice, pretty little thing, which is nice. And 9 out of 10, she'll turn on you, because those are the ones you got to watch. And if she's not loyal, just like what Platinum said on his streams, he said the other women are more loyal than the other ones. It's true. It's true. It's all what you like in life. I don't judge another man like who he picks. I mean, if she loves you for you, you can go for it. It's the quality what I look for. It's not the looks. It's the quality of the woman. If she has good quality, she's smart. It's like the safe bill stream that I talked about, like breaks down the pushback. of the alphabet community not liking to be in the orientation. So that's part of it. And a lot of it, you just got to, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard you what you said in the chat. Yeah. Yeah. But you know, and I kind of respect his viewpoint on that. Yeah. Most men don't want to deal with that. But the ones that do, that's how they maintain it, you know. But you got certain men are different than others. But go ahead, she. You was about to say something.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, yeah, that's the biggest aspect is, finding out what you want. That's why I always tell guys, I always push this a lot on my channel, knowledge of self. If you get knowledge of self, it's not like a 5% thing, but basically I always, push the knowledge of self of knowing what you want out of a relationship, knowing what you want out of life. Because, like I was telling Joey, he's got a lot of things, locked down to be a young man. And I commend him on it because, even though his past the way it was, he grew up in his lifestyle, he took everything and kind of made something out of it. He wasn't like the one that kind of, my pops wasn't there, so this is the reason why I sell drugs type of guy. He just elevated himself to say, well, I'm, focus on my mind and, be a better man. He even said he, was out of the house, had his own place, had his own job, paying bills. He initially wanted to, have that to where he was taking care of himself, and that was a good thing. Most young men don't want that. They want to try to get over by just staying home with mom as much as they can, you know. And but he wanted more out of life. And a lot of guys, you gotta I mean, this whole thing with getting over on the system and, trying to live life a certain way. I mean, that's where the what do they call them? Homosexuals come from.
Yeah.
Those guys, their biggest thing is I've worked all my life, and if a woman want to take care of me, so be it. I mean, but it gets to a point where you be like, man, like Roger said, it's not gonna be forever. So what is gonna be your game plan then?
Right. It's just like I said before, I talked to Joy on Go Professor for the first time that stream, and he told me to come up. I was just passing through. I was watching Ramil's stream. I saw Kuda on the panel. He fell asleep on that panel when he told me when he put it on private. I was in the chat and see what was going on. But then I decided to go to Go Professor and shout you out at the end. He wanted to look at the age difference. And this is what prompted me with this title and the combination of Roger's recent live stream, what I say about the age difference. And what I mentioned what Gold Professor said, you have a 52-year-old man, a 33-year-old myself, and then you have a young man going on 23. That stark of age difference, right? He said he likes this panel. Like, there's no over talking, no cussing each other out. We can have a nice conversation. That was probably the best stream that had nice conversation wise. I mean, P, I didn't think he had of a good channel. I said, I'll try to be a regular, if he comes on every morning. And he said, how many times would a person have a blessed day? I've heard it a few times in my lifetime, but not many told someone say hello, and he broke that down to us and Joey, and Joey had a bad lifestyle. And then he says his mother was a prostitute, Sorry to hear that, but I've known friends that had mothers that were whores as well, prostitutes, whatnot, in their profession. And it's not easy dealing with that. And then he told me the story how he got used to it. And I think I explained this over at Coot as well. And yeah, it's tough, man. And I hope he gets the therapy he needs and try to evolve as a man. I mean, at least I did when I was young, when I lost my grandmother years ago when we was real close. And I told him my story. Everybody goes through depression, man. That's part of life. And we got to get to the medical help. It was hard for me at 18. Overcame it at 23. I had like a red pill mindset then. So I was on the go. So I was raging in my teen years. But once I got older, I got better, started reading different books and different things in life. In my 20s, I cherished that. In my early 20s, I cherished when I was 21. I learned a lot of things and got better. And see, I had a lot of elders growing up too in my family too that were wise in different generation. That's part of the reason. Different people, yeah, some of my peers, but the rest of my peers was just trash. They just want to be the Ray Rays of the world. See, the Pookie just means lame to me etymology terms because they want to be the homosexuals. See, I have a cousin's nicknamed that, thanks to my mom. I don't know why, but he had a bad bone disease, but he lived to be 41. I told that story to Joey because he had 5 kids. I mean, he made it in a way, in a black sense, right? You
Yeah,
just don't have to be, you don't have to be like that. That's not the standard of, of black men to live in. Me and Wacky talk about this. They died young. Yes. But you have to take care of yourself like a BGS or Black Uru or whoever, like CG3 or Go Professor or yourself, you guys seen what it's supposed to as elders. That's the future, because when you get to 70, 80, you already got the knowledge already. The thing is, you're still learning how to be those ages, how to be great elders. But when you got the elders behind you that are not producing that, it's going to really get lost. So I try to be the best and see for your examples. You know what I mean? I try to tell the youth, look, and I try to tell Joey, just do the best you can, man. Like, you only live once. Try to do it right the first time. That's what I try to say. That's why me and BJ say we try to live right and do it right once at one time. I've been doing this stuff for years on YouTube, talking about different things, but then this format came in. We can talk about different topics. I mean, the live stream is just a start. Now it's trying to produce it on the street. I'm willing to do that as well, wherever it takes,
yeah.
Yeah.
In the end, like I'll tell guys, I just want the knowledge to be pushed down and for other guys to, get an understanding. In order to live, this is what you're gonna need. These are the keys to success. It, it varies amongst different people, but when it comes down to it, majority of it all still remains the same. You gotta live life a certain way in order to get results, and that's the trouble that a lot of the youth are going through. They're trying to live life and the results are not coming the way they want. So, they're trying to figure out, is it some kind of code or what, or, and that's what they're struggling with, Like I told you, I had a scenario when I was in school. Well, when I got out of school, I was dealing with a chick, and I normally don't date young girls, but she was like, I think 2 years or something like that, younger than me or something like that. So I think she was like 18 or something like that. Because I knew she was a senior in school, 17 or 18. But when it came down to it, I think I was like 20 or 21. I know it was like a 2 year or a year difference. And a girl, I think she was just graduating and stuff like that. And me and her started talking, and her biggest thing, she was looking at the aspect on what I could do for her. And, like I said, that was one of my biggies from the jump. Like, from people just kind of wanting something from me, that was already a turn off for me from the jump. So, I carried myself in a different way. But to where my son aspect, the same thing's going on with his generation. He was telling me about a chick, coming with that same aspect. And, she was getting purses. And the girl I was dealing with, she was getting Jordans. So I was like, wow. She was running around with Chanel purses. And my son basically told me, he's like, yeah, so, if I deal with her, she gonna ultimately, mess with a guy for a purse. And I don't want to put myself in that predicament. I was like, you right about that. And we laughed about it, and that was the end. But it's more or less like, who are these guys able to trust? What kind of guidance can help them to, weave through the storm?
I wish I had the answers to that. I don't. I try to tell people what I think, but everybody got to go through their own trial by fire. No matter how much experience and wisdom you give people, they're still going to follow their own path. So yeah, that's a difficult situation. Like I always tell people, love people who love you, and it shouldn't be, to connect with somebody shouldn't be hard work. So if anybody makes it difficult or they put unrealistic prerequisites for you to connect with them, then they're not made for you. Because when people mesh, it should be easy. It shouldn't be difficult. And a lot of people's beliefs and expectations stop them from achieving peace and happiness, because you expect somebody to be a certain way and they're not. And I always tell people, as long as they're not bringing you, like Brother O said, emotional labor that's unnecessary, and they're not bringing you physical pain, it could be all good. But so many people just, I don't think they want tranquility. I don't think they want happy situations, happy relationships. They got imaginary ideologies, and I don't know how to fix that. I don't.
Yeah, and I mean the emotional labor part. I hear that a lot. I think with it, but you got certain men that do believe in it, which is kind of obvious in these monogamous marriage. A monogamous marriage is not easy. I know it's business, but to me, it's not natural. I understand that men want multiple wives. I mean, that's natural, but in today's day, it's kind of hard. You know, a lot of people just want to have fun. And like I said, they don't want to deal with that tranquility of that. You know, that's why you listen to certain people's perspective, how they look at life. You know, and yeah, Platinum's different. I mean, he wants to live like a road guy. That's cool. You know, I don't judge him on that. That's one thing I respect about him. You know, he's his own man, and everybody's a little different. And I try to be different. So you know,
Can I dive in for a minute?
go ahead.
But a lot of people, to me, this is my perspective. I could be wrong. They're not honest. Like some people just say stuff to trigger you. They don't really believe it. And then I hear how people flip flop depending on who they're talking to, and they don't always bring up, like, if they have a certain belief, they don't always say it depending on who it is. You get what I mean? And I get it. But that sometimes it frustrates me because you say one thing when one person is there, but when the next person is there, you don't bring it up at all. And I've never understood that. I don't understand how people that it seems that they have diametrically opposed ideas, but when they communicate, they don't express them towards each other. And you can do it amicably, but still stand in your truth. A lot of people don't do that. And so, you know, or they say, like, I'm still rolling in my head about when Platinum did that video called "She Doesn't Want a Husband, She Wants a Boss." And I thought that was so hypocritical. That's so hilarious. That can really, but I know he did it to trigger people, but dude, don't you know how silly that sounds? You know, the woman will leave a boss or a husband, but it's, and then I've been on panels where it'd be Angry Man, Steve the Dean, all these dudes talking about marriage, and Platinum, who says marriage is compromised, but when they're there, I don't hear him telling them that they're compromised. But you know what I mean? So he flip flop depending on who's on the panel. You get what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's
not like
usually.
It's weird to me.
Yeah, it's what it is. He tries to draw people in. Like it could be a big name like Anger Man or anybody. Like I might not be big as them, but it's a habit that he does. Even Obsidian, he tries to change his views, but sometimes those guys don't believe in. He does. They pick on him over at Bernard's a lot. I don't be over there a lot of times, but Platinum is going to be Platinum. You know, I understand he's more. What did DS1 call him? Platinum Springer. He reels you in. Like if you get down to the rabbit hole, like we saw today over at his live stream, trust me, a lot of dudes fall for the trap. You know, the ones that go up on there. That it's done by design. I know exactly what he's doing. He ain't dumb. He just know exactly what he's doing.
I like him. He's hilarious to me. I don't take him serious at all.
Yeah.
I just think that sometimes he be flip flopping. He don't even catch it. He be flip flopping. He plead the fifth. And I want him to stand on what he says. You said it before, say it now. You know, that's all. You said it before, say it now. That's all. You know, I still rock with Platinum. That's my dude. You know, I like Platinum. I find him when I want to laugh. That's where I go. I go to, you know, just to troll a little bit, but it's still fun. But come on, Plat, keep it 100 all the time. You don't do that.
Yeah. But that's Platinum, though. I mean, he don't really troll on Kudas a lot. I mean, when you really talk to him, the best way you get out of him, you just go on the third shift on those panels. Like the third shift, I hate to say it, I enjoy that more on Platinum's panels more because third shift, you meet different people. Just like I told you earlier in the stream with Just DeAndre, man. Like, even though he's long with it, that dude gives you a solid information. Him and Beasley. Yeah, Beasley's good too. He's good. I listen to him every once in a while. Yeah, Beasley's cool. He be over at Mace.
Straight shooter though. He is a straight shooter. If you talk to Beasley straight up, he's gonna be straight up with you. Most people, I don't even see like I have never seen him start something with people. He may say something silly, but if you come back at him, just keep it silly. He gonna keep it cool. People come at him, then he go hard.
That's what he does. I understand him. I respect him. I've been on the panel him talk about Zodiacs with Art of New Style. Great dude, man. I've been on a couple of panels with him on Art New Styles as well on arts panels. Great great wealth of knowledge. That's why I let him speak. He does soft trolling. What he does, he gets inside people's heads like I do with Mr. Fantastic and others over there. The reason they don't like me because I know so much about their actions, what they do. You know, they'll say one thing, then they flip flop. It's the same thing with Platinum does. They was all cool at one time, and then the split came with the game versus non-game market, which is silly because it don't matter. Both of them is really dangerous, but if you don't live that lifestyle, just be a square and just stay on your square and stay on the other side. You know what I mean? That's why I stay away from conversations like just like the atheism and the flat earth arguments, like Zero. I said, look, you don't agree with Magic. I don't agree with your points. We just walk away. That's how he deals with it. But when Zero has panels, they fall for the bait. It's just like Platinum. They all learned that from Zero, like that type of style of platform. They learned it from somewhere. But you know, some people do that. I try not to. You know, I try to be consistent with what I try to be. You know,
I love good conversations, man, with anyone. I'm a perpetual student. It doesn't matter what I know or I don't know. I'm not here to put my encyclopedic knowledge on people because I know there's so much I don't know. I'm not here to quote statistics. I can tell you what I think through logically, but you probably know a lot of things I don't know, and I'm willing to learn. So when I have dialogues with people, I mostly ask questions to get their perspective, but I'm not trying to tell them that they're wrong, but I can say I disagree with you. But hey, you know, I could be wrong with my facts. So I just don't agree with what you're, not you specifically, but that's what I tell people. And some people I don't ever want to interact with because they won't let you finish. Like I'll let anyone finish, even if they're wrong, just to hear them out. And then once they're done, I just want them to give me that same respect. So that's why I don't hop on very many panels, not that much. Sporadically, like I'll go to jokes, I will go to platinums. Every now and then, if I got time and kudos up, I'll hop on there. But I would go to Aunt sometimes, but I don't want to get into the dramas. Like it's like everybody trying to gotcha, and I'm like, really? I'm not trying to catch you. I'm just asking you what you think. You know, I ain't trying to catch you. I ain't trying to. Yeah, that's not my thing, man. Not at all. I'm not trying to make somebody look stupid. I'm not trying to, like, I may know something. And like, if I say they're wrong, I think they're wrong. But if we don't agree, okay, well, I could be wrong. Well, let's move past. People get angry. Now we got a vendetta because I have shown them. I don't have a vendetta to you if you make me look ignorant, because ignorance is something that's natural. We all cannot know some things. It is what it is.
Yeah. I do the same thing, even though it's stuff that I didn't learn. Like I'll tell you about the black pill stuff with the BGS. I learned a lot about that on the Matrix, even certain topics, even the relationships. Even DS1 tell me about certain individuals who they cool with, you know, and learn about people's emotions and things like that. And same here. And what I do is I do my own research and try to figure it out if their stuff lines up. You know, I critique myself every day when I get out of the bed in the morning. Sometimes it's usually myself, content. I proofread myself what I need to work on. And, you know, I've gotten better with my reading over the years. And I try to read a lot of different things and try to see if it's accurate and can I put it into practice. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing to learn. You know, I'm always willing to learn. I'm not one of these people of my generation that doesn't want to learn. I learn from different people every day outside of this. And I'm like, look, if you're going to give me a perspective, I got to have something in my hand that's tangible. You know, I'm a tangible dude. I got to have something that works for me. You know, if this advice works, if that don't work, what else I need to do? You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that perspective, what you just said, is like everybody should be like that. It's a shame that the space ain't like that. They so one-track mind, dealing with one individual worshiping as a God. I agree with Angry Man. Yes, it's like a deity. He said that yesterday, and I laugh. I try not to laugh, but it's true. Like, you know, I've been on panels with him, and the more I listen to him, I'm like, this guy is very interesting. Everything they say about him is just wild. Even with Beasley, you know, I try to be fair with other two. But it's kind of, you know, it's kind of interesting. Like, you don't hear that side from him because it's always negative stuff. When I was over there, say I had to broaden my horizons this year. And I enjoyed this year because I learned a lot about myself, what I can do, not what I couldn't do, you know. And I try to be the best I can be, like on this content or whatever, you know, and try to provide certain information of what I don't know and I read and what I've learned from last year, and then learn from myself what I think about it. I'm like, okay, what I'm seeing from the ground or whatever, or certain politics. That's it. Sometimes I stay away from certain topics that it ain't just what I know, it's what I do know about it. Sometimes people get into arguments and it's the emotions behind it. Just like religion, and I try to be careful with certain religious topics, and I try my best to give my best answer. That's from my experience. I don't know much about it, but if I sit down with a person, it may be good or dislike or whatever, or like the person. It depends on your perception of it. Because I try to be fair to people. What I mean? I hear them out first before if I hear some BS, I just walk away. That's just me. I stand on my square every day. Ain't easy, but
I'm always trying to just find people that I can have a civil discourse with. Me, I'm not an expert. Truthfully, I'm probably one of the most silliest people you ever will meet. I'm super silly, but I can be serious when it's time. Um, I'm just trying to learn. I appreciate what you do, bro. I listen a lot. You notice when I see you pop on, I always come to hear what you're going to talk about. It's always, when I have a chance, I want to listen, man. And I don't always want to hear cacophony. I don't always hear drama in what people are not doing. I want to learn something. And that's like, you talk about BGS. That's one thing I do like about BGS, that he's usually teaching you something. Sometimes I may know, but sometimes he introduces me to things that I don't know. And I always find that to be refreshing. Like that's why I think I'm a horrible teacher, because I don't know what people don't know. And I don't know, like, I don't want to make a whole video trying to teach somebody some stuff that they don't know. Like, I don't know what people want to know. The thing that I think I'm best at is just taking life easy, not stressing out about things I can't control, and trying to improve other people's days, that when their lives improves by my stupid humor that makes no sense half of the time. That's what I'm great at. And I just enjoy having dialogues with anyone who wants to talk to me about stuff that's going to either improve their lives or make them laugh. That's what it is. So that's all I'm about, bro. And I appreciate you, bro. I've learned some things that you said. I never thought about sapiosexual. I knew the term, I understood it, but now I'm thinking about it, and I may do some research just so I can see my perspective of it. Because I do find, I find physical beauty of a woman always to be a motivator, but I'm extremely turned on by the mental complexity of a well thought out woman. It really intrigues me and entices me. So I just find it to be an interesting conversation. I do. And the dynamics between the word and how different people from different groups look at it. That was interesting, intriguing. I appreciate it.
Oh, not a problem, man. I try to be different. Like, I learned that from, I think there was a woman, she said she was a sapiosexual. I had to research it last year, and then I asked Complex about it on Black Brain Trust, and we talked about it. He had a whole channel about it on his channel, and then the Black Brain Trust had topics on it, and I was on every live stream, like at nighttime, even though he lives out in LA. But it was 1 o'clock my time, Eastern time in Georgia, and I'd be listening to him and be on panels talking about it with certain individuals and females over there. It's an interesting topic, but it gets a lot of pushback because it started out online. And the reason I did the links I did, and I keep them saved in my bookmarks, is so I can read them again and read different ones that comes out about the information. It's here to stay. I mean, it's a tricky subject. It's hard to talk about, and most people don't know, and that's a good thing. And I didn't know much about the pushback for it. And I asked them that question about the alphabet group community that don't like that term because it's a form of elitism or albus. But at the time, I learned some people don't really care. They just look at it for what it is. Like, it is attraction of intelligence, but it's not a bad thing to look at. That's just something to talk about, but most people in the present space don't talk about it because it gets out of their realm of what their basic binary thoughts of relationships or other relationships with others. But yeah, man, I try to keep people intrigued. I can be funny too. I soft troll certain individuals. I have fun. I try to be well balanced. I'm multi-talented myself. I'm a man of different talents. If I try to learn something, I learn from myself what I can do. What I learned from this YouTube stuff, I'm capable of doing a lot of stuff. I try to be the best I can be. Show another side of me that I do care in some degree. I ain't trying to be a pure thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, keep doing you, bro. I'm about to bounce out. I gotta go handle some business, man. I appreciate you. Keep putting out your
Not
content,
a problem.
man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep listening.
All right, and I'll check yours sometime. CG3. I'll come
No
around.
worries, no worries.
Yeah,
For me,
yeah.
it's just laughter. I'm just about laughter. That's all I am. Hey,
All right.
I'm not teaching nothing. All right,
All right. You're welcome anytime. All right.
all right. Appreciate it.
All right. Peace. But yeah, man. Just like you said, man, I try to do the best I can, man. It's just when you get in this content, man, you just do the best you in your ability. Like I'm gonna do about the fourth industrial revolution. I just found out that I could pick several links. I'm gonna look up later, and damn, it's been like 2 hours, and it's great, man. You got 4 in the box, 5 in the box. Okay, I usually have 6, but the most I get. But yeah, it's been 2 hours and 25 minutes and 7 seconds. I know it's 10:27, and yeah, if anyone wants to come up, uh, I'll say like this. In the link, I know people watching or whatever. Before I shut down, it's just an opportunity. You know, I'm not in a rush. You know, I can go on. See, because I know it's a comedy hour with DS1s. I might check them out. Yeah, it's in the chat if you want to chat. But you know, with that, I'm just gonna switch up for a minute. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How about that? Yeah. So I know this stream is gonna be up, but yeah, y'all feel free to hit the link. You know, if you want to come up. If not, I can shut this down because I got some things to attend to and some searches. So it looks like no one's coming up, but you know, that's just the link if you want to come up. But yeah, man. Let's see who's in here. A shout out to everybody. All right, appreciate you, Chief, for coming up. CG3, perfect timing. What's up? Podcast. Bunker, what's up? Appreciate y'all coming through. Gold P, as always, you're always welcome, brother. I'll try to be a regular over there, okay? Yeah, and Juan G's, my man Juan G's. Yeah, I may have to shut this down. I will do a part 2 to this. We'll revisit this topic, and I think I did like a 2-hour stream on this. It's gonna be more, and I'm gonna talk about the elders versus the youth again, and break down some of the points that they come up with. So yeah, this is a good topic to talk about because I think we can talk about this a lot and what we can work on. Because what I saw from Friday on the Roger report, it's very telling what Silent told me. Hope he sees this live stream. Y'all can share it to him or Lamont. You know, we discuss some of the things what's going on. So you know, and it's kind of crazy that he mentioned that. So yeah, I'm gonna end it. So I'm gonna go back to BMA. So with that, I want to say peace and shalom.